Live from Eorzea.
Limit Break. With your hosts, Nero.
Now behold the horror you have wrought.
Kahlo.
I said don't take your clothes off.
Juxtaposition.
I don't get it.
Ascalia.
Holy shit, totally forgot about him.
And Mika.
Oh my god.
LimitBreakRadio.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Limit Break Radio, episode 115. Appreciate having you along at a somewhat adjusted time. We appreciate those of you who pay attention, as I'm sure that there's going to be plenty of people tuning in at 4 p.m. going, "Where's Limit Break Radio?"
Well, it's over.
It died.
Yeah, here's the
Failing podcast.
Here's the here's the thing. We had 2 Reddit posts made about us in the same week, so
Cool.
we've got to wrap it up, guys.
No, we're packing it in.
Yeah,
we're done.
We're done. Clearly,
Fudge packing it in.
clearly, Eorzea doesn't like us anymore.
We don't even have the lights on today, guys.
We are doing this in the dark.
It is true. We are doing this in the dark.
That's how we do every show, though.
well,
no, but like literally in the dark now.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So
yeah.
Figuratively and literally this week.
That's correct. Exactly, yeah. So, welcome to Limit Break Radio. Appreciate having you along. This is, of course, our last episode ever. No, I'm kidding. It's not.
Why not?
No.
You promised.
I'm sorry.
Called it.
I'm sorry. Oh,
Nailed
yeah.
it.
Oh, yeah. Your
Nice.
Yeah, I could hear that. Your speakers are still on there, Chuck.
By the way, I was getting ready to compliment you on that wonderful opening segment. That was great. You did really well, Juxta.
Thank you.
Yeah, that
well
was pretty well done, wasn't it?
Considering I had zero reference for Twin Peaks, I
thought you did really good writing that.
I thought it was hilarious.
Okay, good. If a person actually watches Twin Peaks, gets the references, then that's all I'm really happy about.
I mean, I had to step in and punch up the script a little bit.
Well, the chat seemed to enjoy it, although they did say it should have been Twintania Peaks.
Okay.
That's pretty
okay.
good.
Where's the ERP in that? Come on. Jesus. Where do you go from there?
I will accept that joke. Anyway, welcome to Limit Break Radio. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate having you along today. Today is, listen, all jokes about hanging the show up aside. This is a very nerve-wracking show for me. I am very tense at the moment. And the reason is that there was a power outage last Monday here at my building, and ever since then, the power has been really, really dodgy here at the studio.
Checkpoint was nerve-wracking this week.
It really was. It really was. And so the reason that we're doing this with the lights off is that so every time the lights flicker, I don't have a fucking panic attack.
And how come on Wednesday you were like, no, we're leaving the lights on when I suggested it?
I don't know.
Because he didn't come up with that idea, idiot.
Because it was way worse today, I think.
Was it really bad today?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
It was approaching pretty bad. Yeah. And the thing is it's so nerve-wracking because I mean, we go to great lengths to make sure that we have surge protectors and battery backups on all of our most important stuff. But as everyone knows, weird things happen when you just kind of cut the power like that, or when you have power fluctuation issues. So we're really hoping that our hardware is the thing that ends up surviving. So for
if Reddit sabotaged the power to the building? That's dedication.
That would be hard. You know what? And the thing is, for as much as my power is kind of on like sketchy ground at the moment, the building 2 buildings down, it was out for 6 days.
I believe that Reddit took their anger out on the wrong person.
Yeah,
absolutely.
See, now that I actually would, I'm with you on that, because if it were Reddit, of course they would get the wrong building.
They're all tuning in today, just like, haha, oh shit.
Anyway, thanks for joining us. We are, of course, live from Eorzea. It's kicking on over to our Eorzean studios. If you'd like to join us, we'd like to invite you to join us. We are on the Sargentana server, the 5th Ward, plot number 30, in the Goblet. So if you want to join us live in studio, we invite you to do that. Otherwise, you can call the show. Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715 is how you can interact with us. LimitBreakRadio.com/Discord.
Kooky and Skur are on vacation, so I am having to handle all of the phone duties, so please be relatively patient.
That means it's all going to go to shit.
Down and just scream at him instantly.
Yeah, that's pretty much
angry
it.
messages.
It's already a fucked up day today. Let's just roll with it.
Yeah,
you can't scream through text messages, and you'd like prefer to scream through like voice and stuff, but I won't hear you because I'm not going to accept your call. So you have to do everything through text unless you're going to call into the show, in which case I just blindly accept your call and hope for the best.
Yeah, that's the thing is that, if you really wanted to God damn it, I just heard another power. Fuck!
You didn't hear that.
I did. So the thing is if you want to call, we do invite your calls here on the show. If you'd like, Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. Get them in soon, because I can't guarantee that we're going to be here for the 3 hours that we want to be.
And we actually already have a call lined up.
Oh, good.
Oh, that's good. This is really a crazy episode, though. Like we're on early. We've got tons of noise in the background. People are running air conditioners.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's super hot this week. The studio's going to turn into a fucking sauna.
Degrees.
There's no FEC this week.
No FEC. Yeah.
We got birds nesting in the foam.
Yeah. The birds are fucking everywhere. The bird mafia is out again. No FEC. That's preempted for E3. We're going to be knocking off here at about 4 o'clock so that we can be ready for the Microsoft press conference. Kookie's out on her way to the Microsoft press conference. That's actually why she's not able to answer your calls. So we are a little bit shorthanded this week, and we've got Sneezy over here.
We're going to be on an airplane with him in a little bit.
Oh,
We're
God
all going to get sick, and it's going to be his fault.
It's allergies. It's not contagious.
Sure, that is literally what every sick person ever has started with.
You know what? I'm going to go get polio and pass that on to you. Is that contagious?
It wouldn't shock. I don't think so, but it wouldn't shock me.
Fine, I'll get AIDS.
You're going to have to go to some great lengths, and it includes buying me dinner if you want to give me AIDS first.
Wow.
He'll just spit in your mouth.
Low standard there.
Anyway, that was weird.
I'm just saying, the offer's always there.
So thanks for joining us. We appreciate having you along. We'll get through as much of the show as humanly possible. And then, we're going to be basically gearing up for E3. We're going out to E3 to cover the expo for Checkpoint, but we'll also be doing things like trying to get into the live letter and trying to get hands-on with Stormblood. And, I mean, we're right on the cusp of early access anyway. But, it can't hurt.
Next week, we'll be in Stormblood.
That's right.
1
we
week
are
left.
6 days away.
Yeah?
Just 6 days
5
away.
at this point.
Well, 5. Yeah, that's true.
Well, 4 in that case. Why not?
Well, we've got work. That'll be a fast day tomorrow, and then we got the flight. It's really like 2 days
It's practically
tops.
like tomorrow.
So
travel days always go fast.
I'm actually already playing in Stormblood right now. I'm on my red mage.
Oh, are you?
He's black, though, for some reason. Don't tell anyone.
Don't tell anyone.
Anyway, so yes, this is our last episode before Stormblood Early Access, our last episode before E3. Look, I'm super excited. I'm super, super hyped for E3. By the way, if you don't know what Checkpoint Radio is, it's our nationally syndicated radio show. We are currently in 17 cities across North America, in the U.S. and Canada.
It's the flagship of our failed radio careers. Come on.
Yeah.
Talk it up, man.
Canada loves us.
They do. Canada does seem to love us.
Canada's got a huge Canada boner for us.
We're missing one big city from Canada, and there's like 6 people who live there.
So currently we're in Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, Vancouver,
Winnipeg.
Winnipeg.
We have 3 stations in Vancouver alone, don't we?
Yeah.
It's because we're such like an anomaly. Like, we're so not nice compared to Canadians that they have to examine this culture.
We're fairly nice on Checkpoint.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Except the time that Ascalia made fun of curling.
Yeah, that's
I did tear into curling pretty hard.
that is true. Yeah, maybe we should. Maybe
What's wrong with curling?
Maybe we should knock off the curling jokes.
Why? It's getting us a lot of viewership out there.
I guess. I don't know.
If we make another one, we might get Newfoundland.
That episode only aired in Vancouver. But anyway, 17 cities across North America, and we're super excited to have it continue to grow. And we're going out to E3 too. Like that's a huge opportunity that would not have been afforded to us if it were not for an opportunity like Checkpoint. So
Oilers fan 20 says Vancouver is full of crackheads, so I can see why they would like you guys. Wait, do we have Edmonton?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think we have Edmonton.
I believe
too, yeah.
we do. Anyway, yeah. So Oilers fan. That's pretty funny. In what other context, Oilers fan, would you have piped up in our chat room, or would we have noticed your fucking screen name?
That was just the joke that was meant to be.
I know, right? It sort of wrote itself. Anyway, we're happy to have you along, and we're getting real close here to the release of Stormblood. Had a very interesting conversation last week.
Donation for solar panels to power the show.
Hey,
from Solar City.
Solar City, there we go.
Is that a new sponsor? Solar City?
Oh man,
Solar City for all your solar panel needs.
Yeah, that would be great.
Spatula City.
Actually, solar panels is like so last year. We need like the solar roofing now. That's the stuff we need.
Well, yeah, and especially that would be awesome.
I heard NRO is bringing back the LBR forums for Stormblood, and that you guys are launching a FFXIV private server from the LBR site. Can you confirm? Praise
Wow! None of those things are true.
We can neither confirm nor deny those accusations.
No, we can deny them.
No,
flat out.
Are you sure? No,
Forums will never.
Are you sure?
Forums? Fuck yeah, I'm very sure on that. Those are never coming back.
By the way, I don't like that every single time a Scalia lover donates, they finish it with praise Juxta. There is a mixed signal coming here.
It is a little confusing.
He can love Escalia and Juxta.
Are you guys forgetting that comes Stormblood, you're the menstrual mages?
That is true.
That is, yeah.
We are
true.
blood brothers.
We are.
Maybe.
Hold on.
Blood. Would you care to comment?
Blood siblings.
Blood sisters, because it's a girl thing.
Yeah, there we go. Blood sister. Are you gonna?
I feel like you have to change to a female now, Juxta.
No.
Why not?
Because I am 100% Mikote, and I have never been anything else besides a male Mikote cat girl.
Except when you were everything else.
I don't remember that time in my life.
I mean, Mikote are basically Mithra, and Mithra are only women, so you're a girl.
Yeah, it's really the same thing.
There you go.
When you think about it.
But like I said, I'm a male cat girl, okay? There's a difference.
Of course.
I
You have a
also have a
Why
penis.
don't you just be a female cat boy? That'll work.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
Fudacock.
Yeah, he's got that Fudacock going on.
Anyway, so
are you sure you don't want to talk more about that?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
pretty damn sure.
Penis.
Thank you.
What about as sure as that the forums are coming back?
Guys, you're not going to be able to use the cross-class ability blood for blood, are ya? You got your own blood for blood.
We should have to ERP that one. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Gross. Anyway, so yeah, we are on the cusp of Stormblood, and super excited. Super excited to be going out to E3. Jesus.
Passion never forget Wally, the true victim of the LBR forums. Crazy Kali of Fudacock.
Jesus.
That's your penis.
What a fucking throwback that is right there.
I'll say.
Wally.
Anyway.
Wally.
So
we're more excited about E3 than we are Stormblood.
And I
don't like. It's not that I'm not super excited for Stormblood. It's just like E3 is like 5 days away. It's hard to think about anything else.
That
not
is
even
true.
It's like 3 days away.
That is true. It is hard to focus on anything else, especially with showcases starting last night.
Good God! I'm trying to muffle myself. Okay, just ignore me.
What the fuck? What is wrong with you?
He's got worms in his face. It's not good.
Do your job!
God damn.
Your job is to not have worms and to not sneeze.
Okay.
Anyway, so long story short, this is all because of your guys' support over at patreon.com/Limit Break Radio, and we really want to thank you. We've got a couple of cool things in the pipeline, including a Teespring campaign.
Yes.
That is currently what? Pending? Is that what?
Pending, yeah. I started it this morning.
Pending review.
It's under,
yeah, pending review.
Whoa. So hold on.
They saw.
Hold on.
What?
Okay? Because
Hold on.
last week I got in contact with Apple Nectar, who did our art, and I specifically told her this needs to be done by next Sunday, so Juxta has an entire week to get it going. Why did you only submit it this morning?
So that way people couldn't find the link and try to buy it early. I was actually going to wait until we got to the show to like hit the submit button, but I'm glad I didn't because, yeah, there's like at least like maximum 24-hour review period, which, by the way, is a good idea. We didn't actually put rump cock on it because that would definitely not
disqualified.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
By the way, if you want the official Rumpcock T-shirt, the LB Army 1st Division Rumpcock Battalion T-shirt, that is the design that you can expect on that epic T-shirt.
He's such a handsome boy.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he really does have that look in his eye like, I'm going to fuck you in the butt. And I really appreciate that Apple
Getting
Nectar
fucked in the butt?
Apple Nectar captured
The true
that
rump cock.
essence.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. So if you want, again, exclusive T-shirt through. I always want to say T-Fury. It's Teespring. Teespring. Look for that link. Coming soon.
I have the link. It's just it won't go anywhere.
Okay.
Until it's approved. Should I put it in the chat right now?
No, when it's approved, we will have that available. Yeah, we'll tweet it out. You can follow us, Limit
Tweet
Break
it
Radio
out,
on
Facebook it out.
Yep.
Patreon.com it out.
Limit Break Radio on all of those things.
Yes.
So, anyway, that is an exciting. I really like that T-shirt design. I think that's very, very cool. So we're excited to be able to bring that to you. All right, guys, let's check out what's going on in FF14 news.
This is a Limit Breaking News Update.
All right, now this first story isn't exactly FF14 news per se, and we kind of mentioned a little bit at the beginning of the show, but we're going to talk about it anyhow. Twice now in the past week, threads have popped up all over at Reddit. Turns out a few new players have stumbled across our show and weren't really sure what to make of us. Are we satire? Are we for reals? But don't worry, because our friends from the FF14 subreddit set them straight.
Hey, asshole! You guys suck!
I'm sure they did.
Yes, we're both satire, and yes, we're both for reals.
Yeah.
We are all of the things.
We're everything.
Okay.
Welcome,
sir.
new
He loves
people.
me.
We love you.
Listen, I feel like this is as good a place as any to address some of the responses to our recent episodes, whether it be through YouTube or something awful or Twitter. Now Reddit or Twitter. Okay.
Has there been some response?
There has been.
Oh.
People are not terribly satisfied with the fact that we voice our concern, our displeasure, or have criticism moving forward towards Stormblood. They've heard the points that we've raised on the show, and have basically boiled us down to haters.
We drinking that haterade.
That we pay for the game and play it ironically.
Yes, that's an and
I pay for the game, I don't play it.
And that is so fucking sadly true.
I play it, guys.
It's so fucking
Nika.
sadly true.
I played it yesterday. For
for some reason, she says.
Well, Nika and I,
I said for
especially,
some
we're sitting at I-270 like, and now what?
Yeah.
Yep, I leveled my alt for a little while. I did a dungeon at level 20.
How was that? Was that fun? Did you have a good time?
I did, because I learned that all these people who claim that they can't tank at level 20 are just bad.
Scrubs?
They're bad.
It's so easy to tank.
Some people are just actively bad at this fucking
know
game.
what you're doing.
Yeah.
Let's complain about it.
So here's the thing, and this is an attitude that I keep running across, and it's been progressively more and more pervasive as time goes on. And I don't think that FF14 or the community or Square-Enix, no one is to blame. I think this is a greater trend. But I fucking do not understand the people who need the media that they consume to be a reflection of all the opinions that they hold. That blows my mind and baffles me. And I know how, I understand how we get there. I understand how from a cultural standpoint, we end up reaching that point, okay? But this show has been crafted in a way where, like, look, we've said this for a long time. Agreeing with any one person on the show is not a precondition of listening every week or enjoying this show.
But we have Nika here anyway.
Right, exactly. Yeah, well, that's why we put up with her. But you don't like the thing that blows my mind is that we've worked ourselves into this bubbled state where, somebody else's opinions about the way that a game is being developed will bother somebody to such a fundamental degree that they get all fucking worked up and like genuine anger ends up spilling out. And what we've always done with this show is offered it up as a platform for discussions and a platform to have either difficult or challenging discussions. And the thing is I am, most people who do shows like this, most people who do Twitch channels or YouTube channels or podcasts, they generally, like part of their psychology is that they just want people to like them. Right, like that's a big part of what drives people. So they
especially entertainers.
Yes, especially entertainers, and so I think a lot of times the lowest common denominator, the easiest, the most palatable decision, or the most palatable opinion is the one that gets put out there. Or if it's a difficult opinion, it gets qualified to fucking infinity. And by the time that you get to all the ands and buts and qualifiers of the statement, the fact that you held an opinion that is counter to what anyone else may agree with barely even fucking matters at that point, because you've just basically made excuses or try to encourage people to not get mad at you. How many fucking times on a YouTube channel do I have to sit through, well, this is just my opinion, guys. It's a top 10 countdown. I know it's your fucking opinion. There's no objective reality that goes into a top 10 countdown for
I've been lied to.
Like some of this shit does not need to be said, but
they have to say it because of these people.
Yes, and that's it. That's exactly it, because they do.
Sad.
And here's the thing, and one of the things that you need to know about me and the way that we approach doing this show is that doesn't frighten me. Like, that has never concerned me. I'll take negative comments. I'll take positive comments. Like, someone had brought up on YouTube, like, oh, look at how many, thumbs down. Yeah, look how many thumbs down this video is getting. Who fucking cares?
Yeah, here's the thing. You felt enough about it to actually give that thumbs down. You know how many shitty videos that I watched? I'm like, I'm not wasting the effort to put a thumbs down on this shit. How about I click the X?
Yeah, exactly.
Beep.
Exactly.
Beep.
Interesting.
Beep, motherfucker.
Interesting way to end that, but okay. But
that's what my mouse does, is beep.
Here's the thing: is look, we're not afraid of your criticism. We're not afraid of the discussions. We're not afraid of you not liking us.
I'm so afraid.
We're not afraid of anything.
If one person doesn't like me,
I mean, maybe you guys do, but I sure as fuck don't. I don't give half a shit about what you think about me or what you think about this show. I don't care if you like it or you hate it or you like me or you hate me. I don't do this show for validation. That's never why we've done this show. We do the show because we do actually love this game and want to see it succeed.
No, Reddit says we hate this game, so it must be true. It's on the internet.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah. But I mean, this is just a reflection of, like, when there is so much media out there to consume these days, and there is, you can find something that does just sync up with exactly what you want, and that's what you get used to.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing, is that if that's your expectation from your media, you're fucking lazy.
Yeah.
You're a lazy consumer. Like,
I mean, someone on Reddit actually did say it very well, and of course people really ignore it.
I'm sure they got downvoted to oblivion.
Does not contribute to discussion.
No, that like our podcast, the official forums, Reddit, they all represent a different part of the community. And you just kind of have to look at all of it and kind of form your opinion of the general consensus of the community based on that. You can't look at one media outlet and assume that that's everything. Like there's just never anywhere in life.
And I would actually like to give a shout out because there were, at least in the first thread, quite a few people that were coming at this with an even, mind. Even though they didn't like us, they still saw, the value, or at least, what we were trying to accomplish.
Points we were making.
Exactly. So to those people who aren't idiots on Reddit, we salute you.
Yeah.
And they still got downvoted to hell.
Yeah, they did. And
ran our chat in the chat kind of brought it up like Mr. Happy gets as much hate as we do on Reddit.
Exactly. And Mr. Happy doesn't have half of the controversial opinions, or says half of the dumb shit that we do, and he collects nearly just as much heat as we do. So what the fuck is the point?
Yeah,
what the fuck?
Why bother?
Yeah, you can't win. Either way, you're fucked. If we tried to hold the most safe and lowest common denominator opinions and tried to get the widest audience possible, man, fuck.
Here's the thing, though. If we did that, if we made that switch, like all right, guys, starting at Stormblood, we're going to take the high road on most things, and we're just going to go that. The people in our chat right now would be like, what the fuck happened?
And
it's so not cool.
And the people who support us, I think we would see a huge fall off.
Yeah, plus we don't want a jock mog talk style.
Yeah, well, that's true. That is true. Look, here's the thing, is that I really, for a long time, have challenged this notion that I need to agree with absolutely everything a personality says to be able to appreciate them. It's like it's like saying, well, I have to agree with every single piece of politics that a comedian holds.
No.
Really?
You're not going to like any comedians.
No, yeah, that's the thing, and that's how you turn into a humorless SJW cunt.
Well, and like that spreads so far across. Like you saw the humongous thing that happened with JonTron.
Yeah.
Like here's the painful truth about that. Y'all still loved his videos, and they were legitimately funny.
Yeah.
For a long time.
Yep.
And yeah, you know what? As shitty as he may be, or for the stuff that he said, his shit's still funny, and I'll still watch a JonTron video. And I wish he would come back and do more videos.
And you know what? The thing is with us, it is, and while we do admit that there is some character construction here, that there is a little bit of, we play it up and try to make it entertaining, because if we sat here and just kind of talked like this, it'd be fucking boring. Like, we put a little bit more emotion than is actually there, but most of the opinions that we hold to address this idea of whether or not the show is a work or not, most of the opinions that we hold are the opinions that we have, just kind of taken to maybe their logical or sometimes illogical extremes.
Frequently illogical extremes.
But that's the fun, though.
Yeah, that's the fun of it.
That's kind of
what makes it entertaining to listen to.
To do 45 minutes on whether or not, Xenos was going to end up being Yida, that was hilarious and a great discussion. Clearly, total bullshit.
What?
Has been pretty much debunked.
I'm pretty sure that's actually his opinion.
Yes, that's very much not what we thought at all.
So glad we didn't get those Juxtadomus predictions a few weeks ago, eh?
Yeah.
I think Juxta still believes
glad that you're off the hook on that one. But that's the thing, though, is, that's how you have fun on a talk show like this. That's how you prevent it from being boring. I mean,
the show's 3 hours. We got to find something to do.
Good Lord. This shit really cracks me up to just see people reacting to an opinion that they disagree with. And I understand, look, I understand when I say something like, if concessions like this continue, we're going to end up sliding into free-to-play territory. I understand that when people hear that, they end up reflexively and sort of defensively reacting to that and going, no, because I especially understand that from the perspective of a new player. If you just dropped $60+ of an investment on a new game and 2 expansions, then you know what? You're probably going to want to think that that investment is going to be a little bit more long-term than what we're telling you that it's going to be.
Well, it's an incendiary opinion, and the thing about it is if you are someone who is still enjoying the game, like, that is the last thing that you want, and you don't even want to, like, once you have to have the discussion, you have to admit that it's possible.
Right.
And as long as you can kind of keep it in that realm of that would never happen, no way, it's way way more comfortable.
Yeah. Totally.
Which is why you get those kinds of reactions to those remarks.
Exactly. Because I think people are very personally uncomfortable by that idea. And the thing is again, like, people were very uncomfortable with the notion of a cash shop when it was first floated.
We were.
Of course we were.
Yeah.
And then it was implemented, and for the most part, it was fine.
For the most part, there's a few.
We're very resistant to the idea of jump potions. That's clearly going to be added to the game. Who knows what kind of long-term effect, what actual kind of long-term effect it'll have. We can, and our opinions, by the way, are based off of 10 years worth of covering not just Final Fantasy XI, but watching other MMOs rise and fall.
We've had people who've played WoW. We've had people on the Tortanic. We've had people...
the Tortanic.
That place was humongous and then just sank like a rock.
Yeah. Look, and
when it goes fast, guys. Don't think, like, some MMOs slow bleed to death. But a lot of them, when they go fast.
And I think that's really the thing, that if we're defending a position one way or the other, I think that's really the crux of what we're arguing, is because I believe you continue to make concessions like this. You continue to develop a game that has been in development for so long for a new player community, for people who haven't bought the game or who haven't been floating the bills for this long, that you're going to see such a dramatic player bleed that it's going to end up having this sort of like critical mass impact where you just start, once people start leaving and your community gets a real sense of that, it's over. It's fucking over.
Tanya Raven, I spent $250 on a lifetime sub to Lord of the Rings Online years before it went free to play. I felt like shit.
And that's and again,
Kids no dick.
We're just saying that, we have watched plenty of other games make a ton, a variety of decisions. So, again, when we advocate for a position, it doesn't come out of total fucking ignorance or elitism.
But when it comes down to it, we don't raid, so all these opinions don't mean jack.
There's
None of us raid any of us.
There is one more. I mean, it's a funny laugh line at this point, but there is one more opinion that I want to address before we move on. But is there other FF14 news?
There is. Yep.
That was just our first story.
Oh, good.
Yeah. You want me to hit those real quick then?
Go ahead.
All right. So, PvP on the horizon. Since the media embargo has been lifted, Square-Enix has released a post on the Lodestone going into finer detail about the changes to PvP. This post includes many photos and examples of how the new system will both look and work, including the PvP-specific hotbar, job actions, PvP-specific job actions, and PvP-specific traits. So head on over to the Lodestone to check that out.
There you go.
Also, along with the release of Stormblood, Square Enix has teased some new additions to the Gold Saucer prize pool. Have you ever wanted to swing around a Sabotender as deadly as a deadly implement of mass destruction? No? Well, now you can. Sabotender-themed weapons are coming. On the Lodestone, you can see the previews of the Warrior Bar Dragoon and Astrologian weapons.
I'll say this. I legitimately dig the idea of smacking someone with a cactus. I think that is the funniest MMO weapon I've ever heard of.
Yeah. Have you seen the pictures of these? These are so awesome looking.
No, I haven't.
They're adorable.
They're like the yokai weapons taken to the next level.
God damn it. No, I want legitimately
the yokai weapons.
I want legitimately a cactus on a stick.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's the Senior Sabotender that walks around with the eye patch star on the top hat.
That's not a cactus, that's a Sabotender.
They're
the same.
They're
cactuars.
They're terrible. And lastly, this isn't our usual kind of FF14 news, but a post has recently showed on Reddit outlining the size of the Final Fantasy XIV in-house development team over the expansion and patches. As of 2.0, it was the largest with 305 members, and as of patch 3.56, it boasted 264. For some comparisons, other popular MMO numbers include 250 for World of Warcraft's Legion. Guild Wars 2 had 220 as of March 2016. Elder Scrolls Online 250 before launch, and Star Wars The Old Republic had 295 before launch back in 2011. The breakdown and information of the post is very in-depth and fascinating.
It is really interesting because I did see this video, because it's also on YouTube as well, that really what they're doing is comparing the size of credits.
I was like, the credit sequence is the only way that you could ever get that information, right?
Yeah. And so...
Well, actually, Yoshi, the stuff for FF14, I think it was specifically the 264 number as of patch 3.56, I think was taken from an interview that Yoshi was in.
Interesting. Okay. But this is third-party information. There was, and I do want to clarify this because on our last episode there was a question about first-party versus third-party information, and confirming. I really did. I looked as hard as I could. Outside of the census, Square Enix does not provide any first-party server information in terms of how many people are connecting. There are third-party sources that estimate it, much like this is. But we've got to be clear that this is a third-party estimation in terms of developer size. We don't really know what kind of fluctuations go on there. But again, we keep hearing this sort of argument trotted out again and again that, oh, look, they're spending more money. The budget is bigger, so that means Stormblood is going to be better. And I think that, definitively, when you look at the content and compare the content that we've been getting along, against what they've promised us we're going to be receiving moving forward, they've increased the budget. So yet, how do you have tangibly less content?
Right, and I don't. But one thing about these numbers, I want the number at the end of 2.56, not at 2.0. Of course, the development team was humongous then. They just remade the game.
Right.
So I want the numbers at the end of 2.56 to compare to the end of 3.56.
They have that.
Oh, great. What's that?
Well, it's 2.55, but it's main in-house development. In-house is 267.
So, okay, so it's 267 to 264, so they're really close.
Yeah.
Yes.
But again, I mean, that does give you kind of a peek into some of the resources that it takes to be able to run a game like this, and it does take serious resources, and I think it is interesting to note. But again, you've got to kind of take this data into account when talking about business models, the way that Square Enix handles money, the way that they're trying to get more money out of their player base through either jump potions or through the cash shop at large, and again, people have held this up like, oh, well, there's no real evidence outside of one less dungeon. But again, I think that we've seen this slow slide of content, and I think the expectation, especially on the heels of FanFest, knowing that Stormblood had an increased budget, was, well, shouldn't we be getting something more for that? And I think that's what's a little bit frustrating and confusing from a veteran standpoint.
Oh, it goes even beyond a little bit frustrating, confusing for me, because if you look just at the raid scene compared to WoW and Final Fantasy, I always thought the Final Fantasy's in-house development team was nowhere near what World of Warcraft's was. I mean, we get in one raid for Final Fantasy 14, let's take Alexander, 12 bosses total. The first raid in Legion had 9, 10 bosses in it?
Wow.
That is absolutely ridiculous, considering even if this data isn't completely accurate, how close they are.
But even more than that, it's sort of the monotony of the pattern of content. Whether you're talking about dungeons, whether you're talking about raiding, whether you're talking about Return to Ivalice or whatever, I think the thing that I'm most exasperated by and most tired of is, okay, well, I kind of know what to expect.
Well, we talk about how they have this modular setup and how they're even kind of going towards that with the jobs now, and that means that it's easier to develop, it's easier to implement, so then they'll have more time and resources to add more stuff, yet we're still getting less.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it feels a lot like the boiling frog. We've been sitting in that pot that's slowly being warmed up, and you've never heard that before?
No.
Oh,
what?
If you drop a frog in boiling water, it'll hop right out. But if you put him in cold water and heat it up slowly, he'll boil to death. And that's what this is kind of playing out like.
Huh. Yeah, I mean,
guys, it said one dungeon with other new content. That
plus all the new
could
content.
be fantastic.
It could be, but but we said the same fucking thing for every other unseen piece of content.
Right. And I hope that they realize that this is what's been happening for this long, because if
but how many times
if they don't deliver on this, what's going to happen?
How many times do you say that though? You know what I mean? Like, how many times do you continue giving them the benefit of that doubt and you keep going, well, if they continue down this path, well, we've been saying that for a fucking year.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it before. Like, for me, like if we're staring down the barrel of 4.1 and it's more of this, like, I don't know that I have another. Well, we'll see the next patch.
There is a monotony.
Yeah.
Of what is going, what the content is, what the how the content is presented, and all of these arguments that come back to us like, oh well, you guys are just tired of it. Well, yeah, we're tired of it because it's the same thing. It's copy and pasted from what we had before with just a couple of mechanic shifts.
It's color by numbers, patches, and expansions.
Right, and I think that is the thing that. And I don't want to speak for anyone else, but that I'm most tired of and that I'm most fatigued with at this point.
Norster says, God, they're so fucking doom and gloom. And Crimson Tinted responds, eats a freshly bun while listening to doom and gloom.
Doom! Gloom! What, like the Pokemon?
Gloom.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, like the Pokemon.
Sure,
Yeah.
Nika. I get.
Throws a sunstone at you. Now you're Blossom.
Oh, Blossom's so pretty. Can I be Blossom?
Yeah, why
Sure,
is that?
because it's terrible and garbage.
Yeah.
And no one would ever use it.
But she's so pretty.
But it's just
like
trash.
you on Paladin.
How come you have to get 100 candies and a sunstone for a trash Pokemon? It's bullshit.
I have all that now, so I'm ready. I'm excited to evolve her.
Don't be. It's trash.
Anyway, so that is it for the FFXIV news today.
Is it though?
It is.
This week.
This week.
Not just today.
Sorry.
So while we appreciate all of the feedback that we've been getting from our various news sources or listeners, wherever.
Don't call Reddit a news source.
Or listeners.
News sources.
New sources.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
talking about
news source.
people who are new to the show.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I want to be clear.
Welcome, new listeners.
Yes, that's right.
Hello.
Look, I understand, and here's the thing. Again, I understand how a new listener or someone just starting the game can hear this and interpret it all as, hypercritical.
Absolutely.
Or, very pessimistic. And
you haven't been here for 115 episodes with us. You don't know.
But the thing is that, I can't lie about it, though. You know what I mean? Like, I can't come out here and lie about the fact that most of this shit is disappointing.
Maybe we should.
But that's...
Have an episode where we're just the complete opposite of what we are now.
But that's the
Oh my
like,
god, that would be so fun.
State of the Limit Break Radio.
You fucking, like... It's like trying to get a limp dick hard. Like, it's...
With enough work, you can do it.
But it's so disingenuous.
That's
and
so much
sad.
work.
It's sad.
Right, but in that case, the end pleasure comes from the challenge. Like, I did it. Beyond all doubt and reason, I managed to do it. It's overcoming the challenge.
I mean, I guess...
It'd be a weird episode where we're just super positive and happy about everything, no matter what.
It would come across as so fake, though.
And we gotta wait. We have to wait for a week where just like the shittiest news breaks, where we're just like all in disgust and like, nope, this is the week we're doing it. Where we're just treating it as the best
I really
news.
want to do this.
Where we just toe the company line for 3 hours about shit
and we
news.
don't let
and then
anyone
they can
know
see.
that it's that episode. So guys, it will happen.
And then we post it on
I know
Reddit.
which episode it will be.
I mean... I just, I feel like that's
I think that
sad.
would be fun.
It is sad. But the point is, that's what people want from us. Some people, anyway.
And like the thing is like as a creator, as someone who's sitting here behind the mic, I'm wholly uninterested in giving that to you.
I agree.
I am wholly uninterested in providing that.
As an entertainer, you should be happy to explore the realm of improv. Okay? What is improv?
We do.
Lying.
We do.
Whose fantasy is it anyway? That is our improv.
And Nika's so bad.
Yeah, I'm bad at that though. Let's do something I'm good at.
We do this every week. We improv this show every fucking week. All we come out here with is just elaborate notes.
That's true. People we've shown like the checkpoint outlines.
Yeah.
Limit Break Radio is nothing like that.
Which, by the way, the LBR outline this week almost didn't get done. I was doing the news last night at like 1 a.m. and I'm like, nobody, bothered to take this Famitsu article and put it onto the outline.
Do you know how?
Guess I'll do that.
Do you know how often I'm doing the FEC news at 9 a.m. on Sunday morning?
That's true. I watch you.
Sometimes you're like reading like the discussion topic, and I see you tune in. I'm like, hey, Nate.
Yep.
Dude, I will wake up at 9 a.m. and be like, oh, right, news. So we're gonna do that.
So anyway.
Infinity Fox does make a great point, though. Doing a show like that would cause us great pain, which they would enjoy.
Yeah, that's true. Here's my point, though, is that people and the criticism that I keep stumbling across about this show that I think is really unfounded is that we don't want to hear anyone else's opinion. That is objectively not true. We do 3 hours of open fucking lines here on the show. We'd love to hear dissenting opinions. We'd love to get
We invite them.
Yes.
We push you to the front of the line.
Everyone is always too chicken shit to call in.
And that's the thing. And I have problems taking YouTube comments seriously and tweets seriously or forum posts seriously that you don't then follow it up with some kind of you know what I mean, like it's such a rare thing that a show will give you a platform that you can use to make the show look fucking stupid, and you guys consistently use Twitter over and over again. I don't understand it. Trying to troll us somewhere that's not this show does nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well, we don't read emails anymore,
guys,
supposedly.
Yukimoto 01.
No. Oh, actually, there's a fucking comment that someone made on the last episode that we fake our emails
I do Final Encounter Cast news 3 hours before showtime. You think I'm writing fucking emails?
Fuck no.
Bullshit.
Fuck no. Somebody said that I like how they write their own emails so that they can just continue their echo chamber, some whatever fucking stupid buzzword that they use. And by the way, commented that on an episode where we don't even read emails, and the only thing that we read were the critical something awful comments.
Yeah,
that's it. We didn't read one fucking email on that whole show.
Man, there's tons of legitimate shit to criticize about the show. Pick that stuff.
God damn it, dude! Right?
Nero's only marginally thinner than Juxta. Talk about that.
Wow, that's harsh.
Ouch. Hey, one of the guys who made the Reddit thread actually posted. He said, it's Yugimoto01 says, "Hi guys, I was a new listener. I made a Reddit post today because I didn't quite understand how you guys are so passive-aggressive against the game, and I did wonder..."
Where's the naked Mala? Come back.
Oh, I don't know. He's not fucking up our eye cam.
Big Rogan instead.
Yeah, don't speak of him. Maybe he won't come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I did wonder why you even talk about a game that you apparently hate. I now understand more that you guys are veterans, and so am I. I still love the game's fault and all, but this is for entertainment, fair play. So see, look, he gets it, and he's new to the show.
And again,
welcome.
The driving emotion behind this show has always been irreverence. Like, if there's one word that sums up this show, you may think it's cynicism. It's not. It's irreverence.
Penis. Oh.
It's not penises. No, stop.
That's what drives Juxta.
I don't know. I think it might be.
Maybe.
I drive my own penis. Thank you very much.
He's compelled by his own momentum of penises. Anyway.
Sometimes dongs.
God damn it.
The power of foreskin compels you.
This has taken so fucking long to get through.
Well, look, Reddit has, given us lots of promotion this past week. I think it's only fair we send a few people their way too.
Look, yeah.
Where
are you going, big guy?
I agree with that.
I don't know. Why are you quoting drops now?
I don't know where that one is.
Irreverence is the thing that drives this show. Nothing is sacred. Nothing is safe. That's really just our humor. And
even the game that the show is about.
Exactly.
Especially the game the show is about.
Fair enough. All right, let's open up our phone lines and start with Agris Elms of Excalibur. What's up, Agris?
Hey, just letting you guys know that you messed with the wrong message board.
All right.
Yeah, who do you think shut down the power? It wasn't Reddit.
Blue Garter.
Hey, genius! You shut down the power to the wrong building.
No, it's something awful. We're still relevant.
Oh wait, hold on.
yeah,
Still
that's
relevant.
right.
Something awful.
Still relevant.
Guildworks.
Oh, there you go.
Is it Guildworks?
No.
Oh.
No, it's something awful.
Hey.
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, so all right. Well, a fellow goon that makes 4 goons on the show right now.
$40 to low tax.
That's right. All hail, all hail low tax. Anyway, so what's up? What's happening?
Well, I actually called in. Well, you guys called out something awful, so I just called in to show that we're not too chicken shit to not call in.
Fair point.
So,
Thank you.
Hey, you know what? Fair point.
But then you backed up by saying you're just messing with us. You need to follow.
No. This is
progress.
No. This makes sense for goons. Like, this is completely within the goon psychology right here.
There's still a level of respect.
Yeah, no. It starts with amicable shit talking, and then you start moving into a place where you're like, I either like this person or I'm going to completely fucking ignore them for the end of time.
This sounds like a lot of my relationships.
It is not dissimilar. Anyway, thanks for calling in. Appreciate hearing from the something awful goons there. Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. You can also, by the way, make a valid point if you call the show. Just saying. You don't have to.
You don't have to.
You don't have to, but you can. Anyway, so this past week we saw the release of the Stormblood release trailer, and boy, did this spark a lot of discussion.
Stormblood.
Anyway, so we're gonna watch it on the stream. We're gonna share it with you guys here. If you haven't seen it, it does contain some degree of spoilers. We
assume
we can.
I mean, I'm assuming that if any of it is spoiler territory, it's not what you think it is. That's what I'm going with here.
Well, a lot of
There's
people.
no way they would actually spoil the story flat out.
A lot of people have been kind of butthurt about how much they did or didn't spoil in this. So we'll go ahead and watch the trailer, and then we'll go through scene by scene.
We're gonna do it in its entirety first, right?
We'll do a breakdown, but we'll start
to talk over it at the first time.
That's fine. Yeah, we don't just play it.
We kind of have to talk over it, don't we? So we don't risk getting like.
I mean, kind of, yeah. We don't really want to get a takedown notice for just jacking the trailer
off.
Thank you. That was a very necessary addition.
I think it was.
You're
welcome. It added a lot to the show.
It was better than him sneezing.
True.
Fair.
Wow, I am digging the Soviet national anthem going on here.
Praise Putin.
Yeah, I really don't think that this is very subtle. Do you?
We thought they were supposed to be Nazis. No, they're Russians, as it turns out.
Liberty or death.
Liberty or death.
Or face stomping.
I will take face stomping. Now there is actually there's a point I think early on in this trailer where, remember when we seen that one screenshot of the building that looked like they had the Alamegan flags?
Yeah.
Same building, but it was with all the Garlean flags.
Oh,
spoilers, man.
Which makes me think that I think our idea
Whoa,
was.
is this FF7?
I know it is. Yeah, it really does seem a little.
That was very Shinra-esque.
Yeah, I think actually as we move more towards Garlemald, that vibe is going to start making its way.
There is no FF7 remake. It's 5.0. It's just the code name.
It's FF16.
So we're never gonna see it. There.
Oh, yeah.
Now, see, all this war-torn type stuff in the beginning actually has me feeling kind of excited, but I'm afraid how long it's going to last.
But that's the thing, is that we've always known that the Alamegan part of this is going to be way more, at least in our opinion, is going to be more interesting.
It's just a matter of how long is that going to last.
Right.
Then what was it all for?
I just love all the Final Fantasy 6
references. Here's the big one. This is the big thing that people are really freaking out about is Yustola there.
Get dunked on!
Traitor!
Kingslayer.
Kingslayer.
That person's losing a hand.
Jamie Lannister's in here.
I think it's Kinslayer is what they're saying.
Is one.
'tis better to bend with the wind than stand tall and be broken.
See, I assume because they...
Hold up. That was a message from SC straight to us right there.
Oh, you don't like weeby shit, huh?
This is the problem that I have with this trailer, and by extension, the problem I'm going to have with the expansion, I think, is we just had all that really great, awesome, war-y action scene type stuff, and then we just go into all this, and it makes all of it seem completely irrelevant now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It's like a big tonal shift.
I don't know. It does make it seem like that we're like gonna lose in Alamego, and we have to go, liberate Doma and get their help.
Well,
I
hadn't considered the possibility that we lose in Alamego.
That's actually fine with me, so long as, in a narrative sense, they keep up this idea that even though we're here, where maybe the stakes don't seem so high, the stakes still are extremely high. We cannot forget that.
What will you have of me?
I just hope the story doesn't let us forget that.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't want it to feel like, when, like, the in-between patches in the last expansion, where it's like, oh, we're not talking about the Warriors of Darkness, so don't worry about them type deal.
Well, because pacing was a big problem in Heavensward. And
it really was. Like, when the Warriors of Darkness came in, it was so interesting and exciting, and then they were just pissed off for 2 or 3 patches.
It fizzled out big time.
It's kind of cool that we might actually get to witness, not just in a cinematic sense, but the actual fight scene against Lise is kind of cool.
I don't know. They look like they're going to be making out.
Oh, I wouldn't mind that either.
I just want to know why they're fighting.
I don't want to cheat on Minfilia.
She's gone, bro. Let it go.
No, I'm very discerning.
She's dead, Jim.
Quit holding that candle, bro.
What about my Minfilia fleshlight?
Oh my god. Made out of her actual flesh.
I was like, you're gonna see
I was gonna say a cast, but okay.
The true question is Ixion Harshafan or not?
No.
Shut up.
That theory's done.
There was our Estinian reveal.
Actually, I'm pretty sure that is what that is.
Yeah, I saw that too.
It is what it is.
Ain't what it ain't.
It matters good enough.
I actually went back and rewatched just that part of the trailer to see if it was really him or not. Some of these monsters look silly.
Look ye where the sun doth
saw
rise,
Brain Man from
crimson embers darkening.
I'm loving the music at this part though.
This is that excerpt that we got
See
at the end of
Azure lost amidst the squall.
Oh, you mean that poem?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yep, that little from the developer blog or whatever.
Wisdom and the clarity to embrace violence for its own sake.
I wonder if that means we'll get the actual meaning of it.
Maybe. We are bearing down on this release date here, guys. So, all right, let's rewind this trailer and give it a second viewing. Now we're going to go ahead and mute the audio and as we go through it, just kind of give our take on it. And all right, let's bring it back on screen here. And I do think that there are some really interesting reveals in here.
Yes. And the most interesting reveal is the fact that I don't have to play Stormblood because I have all the story already.
I don't think it reveals that much. I'm actually inclined to agree with Nika that if we got something, what we think we're getting, it's probably a red herring.
They are not going to put something in a trailer that literally spoils like a character death. That's not going to be spoiled in the review.
You say that, but it's fucking Square-Enix.
I mean, I don't know. Kyle's got a point. Anyway, so we see Xenos, and I think this is what I would imagine is his personal guard with these sort of red visors on their helmets here. I think, along with Xenos, right? Mm-hmm. I think that kind of like how Darth Vader's got, what is it, the 55th clone unit, whatever it is? Like, he's got his own
elite squad.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I think Xenos is going to have the same thing. Stop! Don't.
You're terrible.
Boo.
Sorry.
Don't
but
mention that. Anyway. I do like
that was dumb.
I like his helmet though. I do.
Xenos looks sweet.
Yeah, Xenos is a great design. Yeah. We get more, some more cinematic shots.
If Samurai actually had that like rotating revolver of samurai swords, that might actually get me to play Samurai. But since you can't ever be as cool as Xenos, what's the point?
That is a pretty cool thing. Like, who thought of the samurai revolver sheath?
Xenos.
Everyone.
No. I mean, at Square Enix.
I know. I have no idea.
How do you come up with something like that?
Okay, well, think of it this way. How do we turn a samurai sword into a gun?
I mean, a gun blade.
It's possible that this is actually based on like a holster of the past, and they just decided to make it a little more fantasy-esque.
I think that somebody was watching Attack on Titan, because that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it reminds me of.
That is possible as well.
But I mean, like, no earthly being could hold something that big and metallic off of their waist. There's no way.
That's why he's in power armor, bro. Fallout 14.
Just stop.
So, I mean, there's really one scene in here that I can't wait until we get to that I think is really interesting. I think this is a really interesting looking boss. We can kind of surmise that we're moving away from the more elegant aspects of Eorzea.
Yep.
And this, I mean, there seems to be some kind of similarities between this big blue guy.
Oh no, that's from Final Fantasy VI.
What is it?
That's Magi Master.
Oh, okay.
He changes his weakness from elements as you progress through the fight.
Okay.
The end. He's also in the Magitech facility, and there's actually a whole bunch of enemies from the Magitech facility in this trailer. So get hyped for Soak and Magitech Remix.
That's cool.
Ooh, are we raiding a Garlean at Magitech facility? That'd be sweet.
Possible?
I mean, but like, where in the lore does this guy fit in? I mean, is he...
He's a machine.
Why does any of the stuff in the fucking World of Darkness fit in? It just does.
Well, but I mean, like, there was a reason that, characters like Zand and all of them had the proportions that they did.
If this is a Magitech facility with, let's say, Alamigo, for example, has been under control by Garlemald for 20 years, it isn't out of the realm of possibility that they've erected a Magitech facility somewhere in Alamigo, and one of the dungeons is us attacking it. Or storming it.
I mean...
Stormblooding it.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot about the region that we don't know. But, I mean, this is, I think, definitely a very interesting boss, and love to know some more lore behind it. I also like the weapons he's got here with the fucking spikes coming out of the top of his arms.
Baraka style.
All right, here's this.
Is that straight out of FF7?
It does. This looks straight. This really does look straight out of Final Fantasy VII. Again, if I had to,
the underground Mako reactor.
If I had to guess where this might be, I think this is as we're in Authored and pushing north, more towards Garlemald, and I really do think that as we get more. Closer and closer to Garlemald, that this type of aesthetic will be more and more common.
I think that this might be actually an Alamigo. Just the way that the trailer's set up, I feel like it's actually divided into Alamigo at the beginning, and then we get that one scene where we're like crossing the sea to Athard, and then all the rest of it is over in Athard.
Now, to be fair, this does look like a bit of a slipshod sort of construction that's going on here. And we do see, as you look kind of farther in, past where the players are on that bridge, as you look farther in, we see that there is a scaffolding that has a bunch of spotlights, and it looks to be illuminating something that is resting at the center. So
the Mako cannon.
That could be, and there is the cannon in the distance. What exactly is being worked on there, or where the power source that they're drawing from for that cannon, I think is going to be very interesting.
That's why we don't have it in any Alamigan zones. They're going to blow it up.
This facility is fully operational.
I mean, I think that would be really cool if there.
Also, a cop out that we don't get to go to Alamigo because they blow it up. They're like, how do we not have to make Alamigan zones, guys? Let's blow it up with a cannon.
I mean, that's a bit of a jump. You think they're gonna blow up Alamigo?
Wow, a Nero.
I wouldn't go that far.
But I mean, I don't know. I just feel like the fact is that all the exploration zones that we've seen have not been in Alamigo, even though the story at the very beginning of the trailer says all signs point us to Alamigo.
You know, I don't think that that's indicative of anything, because there was a lot of stuff in Heavensward that when we finally found it, we had no indication of, like the giant Charlayan Tower and like Idly Shire and stuff like that. Because I remember when I found that, and it's like, yeah, this is what was left of like a Charlayan library. I'm like, holy shit, are you fucking kidding me? That's amazing.
I think whatever this is going to be pretty interesting. This canon has featured prominently in a lot of the artwork and some of the some of the other footage. I do think that something is going to be, there's going to be a big deal there. But again, you've got to ask, what is the power source? What are they drawing from to be able to power that canon? I think that I think there's going to be a better answer to that than just
live stream
Aether or
a Primal.
Come on, I mean. I think a Primal's a bit of a lazy answer as well.
It is.
Yeah, but that's probably the answer. Let's be real.
They found one of Bahamut's nutsacks.
They're probably, or they've got like a good guy Primal chained up in there, and they're sapping its energy.
I mean, I think it's equally as likely that could be the crash site for well, maybe not for Omega, but
Shinryu.
Yeah, Shinryu. That's what.
Or it could be a marmot on a treadmill.
Although if it
just
was
a single one,
10,000 marmots on 10,000 treadmills.
No, it's just been running for a really, really long time.
And we have to go save them because they're abusing the marmots.
No, we have to kill the marmots.
Kill the marmots. What?
Kill the marmots. Kill the marmots.
Juxta's like, everything that I've ever done has been to train up till this moment.
Yeah, I think it's probably not very likely that it is the impact crater from Shinryu. I don't think that.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think you'd be able to put cannon up like that quickly.
Yeah,
although, I mean, I don't know. We don't know what kind of time lapse is happening between Heavensward and Stormblood.
Either way, I somehow
It's
doubt
magic.
it.
They can put it up faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Shinryu, and they put that up there, and now we have to go fight Omega so we can build our own
This
cannon.
looks like it's inside.
This
of
does.
that place.
This looks like the platform that's probably being illuminated.
Could just be
When
some
he
type
jumps,
of.
you can see the stars. so
Yeah,
you
it could
definitely
just
know
be
it's
some other
open.
type of like weapon facility or something.
It could be.
That's more Magitech facility, because that's a mag rotor which attack you when you're trying to escape from the Magitech facility on the minecart.
Juxta, you have
They
the
use Fire
most
2 magic.
amazing collection of like information that should, by all means, never mean anything.
What? What are you talking
We
about?
do a
It's-
Final
it's
Fantasy
obviously-
podcast, okay?
I know, but like think about if his life had just like taken one small diverging path and he had not been on the show, that would be useless information.
Imagine if we were like a WoW podcast, right? Like just one, a different timeline. One little thing is different, right? Like all of that information that you had would be useless.
Oh my God, there is an alternate timeline where we went down on the Tortanic.
That is true.
You know what, Juxta? It just sounds like they're feeling a little impotent today compared to your knowledge. I appreciate it.
I'm just not used to getting it from him, you know?
Yeah, unlikely source, man.
Hey, everyone gets it from me at some point.
Truer words have never been spoken.
Are you talking about chlamydia?
Gonorrhea.
Okay. Just as long as we're clear. But yeah, you're probably right. That probably is at the center.
All eyes look to Alamigo, except for ours.
What do you think that means?
I mean,
we're gonna look at it, but we're not gonna go there.
This is pretty cool.
We've only seen really like one zone definitively connected to Alamigo.
See, right
I'd
there.
be
that
really
was
bummed
that
if we don't
building.
actually get to go in Alamigo, though.
I think it's going to be a contested area.
Here, go back to that face really quick.
All right, we'll go back to the face.
All right, obviously Xenos, right? Now, there's still technically not anything that showing this definitively says one way or another, but does that...
It looks like Ida.
No, it looks a little masculine to me.
I say they've got the typical SE masculine chin and jawline.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And not only that, but there is voiceover at this point that sort of implies that it's Xenos talking.
Right.
Okay, clearly Ida was the ugly one, and
that's why the betrayal happened.
She has a voice changer. It's obvious. They're Garlands. They have technology.
Wow.
Or we get to see the revolver sheath in action. That is fucking cool. I don't care.
That's pretty cool. It is.
I hate
that. It's sweet.
I hate the weeby shit. I hate the weeby shit, but fuck me, that is fucking cool.
You need one of those for your great swords, bro.
Yeah.
But it's that would be heavy as fuck. If you grabbed the wrong one, there's like no rhyme or reason to how fast that was spinning. Just say.
Nope.
No, and there doesn't need to be, except because he's a badass samurai and doesn't care.
No, he's a badass. It's not because of the samurai part.
It's just cool. I mean, that's fuck. There's no way around that. It's just fucking cool.
It's another typical Square Enix thing. Like, this is completely unnecessary, and I'm really glad it's there.
I know where that came from. I bet Yoshi P ran into Kojima one day, and Yoshi P's like, dude, I need something for my game. Like I just something. Just can you give me one cool idea? And Kojima's like, all right, revolver, great katana sheath.
Okay, I would have expected Nero to be the one to try to somehow credit Kojima for that, but
look, just because I haven't played his games doesn't mean I don't still have an appreciation for him.
It is. Sure. It's a very weird choice, but I don't know. I like it. I actually.
It's the one good thing about Samurai.
You know how like we're supposed to hate Xenos? I really fucking don't.
Not yet.
You know, am I supposed to hate him like I hate Darth Vader?
Clearly,
that's why you're gonna hate. "Quote hates Xenos" is because he's gonna kill Y'shtola.
I'm not gonna hate him for that.
Everyone, not just Y'shtola. He's gonna kill all our
cool.
friends.
He better murder a lot more people than just Y'shtola. If I'm gonna hate him, because here's the thing. Like, and we talked about it before. Going into this, I still don't have that hatred for the Garleans that I feel like I'm supposed to have. I haven't had it since early 2.0 because they haven't been the bad guys in quite some time.
Because you're a sympathizer.
I am, but I got kind of where Nero's at. I need Xenos to do something to make me hate him.
No, the
and having a
Garleans have gotten
badass
to
sheath
you.
isn't doing it.
They've got to you.
They got to me ages ago. They got to me before I fought Titan for the first time.
Now.
I was legitimately like, you know what? Fuck this place. I want Titan to win.
Lio in the chat saying that it's a fidget spinner sheath. I like that idea. So yeah, I mean, if Xenos really is, this super bad guy, look, killing Y'shtola is not going to make me buy that.
Especially
like, there's got to be something.
Punch has already been pulled. Because of this.
There's got to be something that's way more impactful than that gets me to fucking hate him. Really?
What if he cuts your arm off?
No.
No, if he cuts your arm off, your DPS is halved forever.
It's interesting. It's too interesting.
Because then he gets to have. Well, first of all, he's not the first. He's just a Raubon wannabe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot he's Dark Knight.
Yeah.
What if he kills that one marmot before I do?
Bastard.
So,
and that's actually bringing a problem to me. What could Xenos actually do to make you hate him?
Be a whiny bitch like horrible. Darth Vader.
He's gonna blow up Alamigo, killing our people and his people. I'm telling you, he's gonna kill everyone, and that's why we hate him.
If they make him a whiny cunt like they did Anakin Skywalker, then I'll hate him. I'll legitimately hate him then.
They made it sound like we're gonna hate him because of his actual actions. Think
about how weird the dichotomy of the Darth Vader character is, because he's probably the coolest and most compelling character in those opening 3 films,
plus Rogue One.
And you do know that instinctively he's supposed to be the villain, and you're supposed to be rooting against him. But like, there's nothing that really delivers that same narrative impact in the first film that makes you go, fuck, I hate this guy, which is why they were able to give him a sympathetic turn and ultimately make the arc more about him than it was about Luke. And I think you need some of that very kind of artful storytelling and that very delicate storytelling to be able to play with the emotions of your audience. And I feel like everything from the FF14 plot after 2.0, right? Like after 2.55, after they pulled that punch of the Sultana, I feel like everything narratively from there has had a lot of the subtlety and mystery stripped out of it, and that bums me out.
Which brings me to my first big problem with this this scene that's coming up right here, and that's Y'shtola's quote-unquote death, would-be death, whatever. You're right, we don't know. But here's the problem with it, okay? Because if there was going to be any death that I really cared about of characters that we already know about, it's going to be someone like Y'shtola or maybe Thancred. But even just like you've said, Escalia, just a lot of people, that's not even really a big deal because they don't really feel that connected to the Scions. The only reason that I feel like I do is because they're a lot better now than they were in 2.0, right?
Yeah. Right, which is why they couldn't kill them in 2.0. They have to kill them now.
No, but this is the fucking problem with putting it in here. And you know what? you could have even actually had the shield breaking in this trailer, and it would have been fine, because we don't know, did she survive that or not? But by putting in the fucking Harshafant little blood spit thing, okay, she's dead. Great. You just pulled one of the only possible punches that you should have kept to yourself. And for those people going, oh, well, maybe they're going to do something different. We don't know that she's dead. If she's not dead, it's the fucking Sultana all over again.
Right. No,
well, it's fucking lose-lose for Square Enix by putting this in there. The only way that it can be justified is if we leave her, she's still alive, and over the course of the expansion, all we see is Xenos fucking torturing her day after day.
Dude, he could be trying to like brainwash her or pull her over to his side, any of that stuff.
That's the only way, is if they actually use her quote-unquote supposed death for something else. But again, am I going to give them the benefit of the fucking doubt? No, because what did they do with the Sultana? Bullshit, all nothing.
I think he should behead Hildebrand and then take his mask off to reveal that he's Yoshi P under there, and then I will hate him.
Just to officially say Hildebrand is dead. Stuff.
Yeah. Like, look, the fact that they do the exact same camera angle that they did for Harshafant, like, oh, just everything about this.
I feel like they did that on purpose just to make us think she said that.
But that is such a bad swerve at this point.
It serves no reason.
Yeah, given what the way that our expectations have been set up in terms of character death, right? That this, I have to agree with Kahlo on this, that this really undercuts any narrative purpose that this moment was supposed to serve in the game and to the player base.
And even if, in this particular case, they do have something good planned, this still undercuts it to a certain extent. And by not spoiling it, it could have been even better.
Yeah.
Like, just think about it. We're in that cutscene in Stormblood. She's doing the shield thing. We're like, oh, yep, we've seen the shield thing. It breaks, and then she's fucking gets sliced. How much better would that have been to not even see that coming?
They should have just showed us the shield part and having him slice it. Maybe even it cracking and then just not showing us.
Yeah, and now when we get to that scene, it's going to be like, all right, well, here's the fucking bullshit Y'shtola dies scene.
Yeah, that really, I mean, look, when you go back and you look at the composition of the way that this is edited, I 100% agree with you guys, because if they had stopped it right here, if they had cut it right here, right? Like, this is
what a cool shot, first of all.
I mean,
well, that's the way they cut it in the benchmark. Was it in the benchmark?
Was it the benchmark? It was somewhere.
We saw this particular one again, but even where go a little bit further, if they were to cut it right when it shatters,
right here,
when it
no,
cracks.
keep on going. Even keep on going.
Keep on going.
Stop it right there.
Right there.
Right there. She could have survived that. Right? It's when they actually show the Harshafant trademarked blood coming out of my mouth, spitting up hot chocolate scene.
This one right here.
One.
There it is.
That one.
This.
That is Harshafant.
You know what they can do to make this work is if they continue playing with this like thing, like where like in the scene like right before this, she's like, hey, you want to go get like a drink sometime, or like you get like a scene like that where you're just like, no. I don't want to go get a drink with you because I know what's going to happen
You're
next.
sitting at like some little makeshift cafe at Rolgar's Reach, and she brings you hot cocoa.
Yeah, you're like, no, don't do it.
Hot cocoa becomes that foreshadowing thing whenever anyone has hot cocoa.
Hot cocoa is the Black Raven of this game.
Dear God, it is more like Twin Peaks than we realize. Anyway, all right.
A smile better suits a hero.
Oh, man.
Damn.
Certain part of our audience is going to be real upset with that drop. Anyway, so I agree. I totally think you're right that it blunts the narrative impact that could have had. We also see. I thought this was ephemeral.
This is the Warrior of Light, right?
Who?
This is
the guy that gets knocked down. The guy right after the Y'shtola death.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I think it was the Warrior of Light who got knocked over.
The scene. Okay, and if you realize that it actually hovers on the Warrior of Light, also laying on the ground, not moving. Dun, dun, dun.
So we're dead.
We die.
We die.
Wow, what a narrative choice.
That would make us hate Xenos because we can't play. Wait, no.
We die and have to re-roll.
Legitimately, that would be one of the most interesting choices in an MMO ever.
I mean, I think
I don't think we expect that.
We can't save Y'shtola, and something bullshit happens, and we wake up and like everyone's gone or dead or some bullshit. And like, people left us because they thought we were dead, but then we weren't.
I'd respect it, but not a great business choice.
No. All right, here we see Fordola. And
looking determined.
You mean Yida?
God damn, I could have sworn during the first sets of trailers that she was more Rogden-esque.
No.
But no, clearly you get a real nice shot of her.
Her build is her face is more pure, but her build is very much.
Maybe it's those stocky. Maybe it's those stocky football player shoulders that made me think that. I don't know.
You cannot make a Hero that tall. It's not possible.
But yeah, people are going to be clamoring for this hairstyle. I can already see it. It's all
right.
It's okay.
Right.
I
As she
see.
reaches waifu status, though, people are going to want it more.
Well, that's the thing is I've already seen in the chat new waifu. You guys fucking embarrass me. Just so you know.
Get out! And here we are going to Doma.
Yeah.
Hey, it's the 1.0 cutscene all over again.
Again, I really and I've done this in very sarcastic ways before, but I really have to express the level of concern that I have for having this narrative split in two different directions. I really think that
I think it might be a good plan.
Really? What makes you say that, Juxta?
Because the alternative is having one narrative which is completely half-assed and terrible, and we get Heaven's Ward.
Yeah, but this plays into the idea that Alamigo is going to be a footnote in this expansion.
I think it's going to be more like half and half.
How could it possibly be half and half? I mean, throughout the whole thing. See, I think it would have been better to just get the whole Alamigo thing done with and then go to Doma, and then have a whole new kind of
a new arc.
Yeah,
That's kind of what I'm hoping is going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen. I think this indicates that we're going to have both going simultaneously, and that I'm not a huge fan of.
I still don't think it's going to go simultaneously, but I think one's going to play into the next one. And
and the idea, that it's Xenos destroys Alamigo or that territory, we get shifted from that territory into Authored, is what I don't like. I don't like that idea. I'm way more interested in what Alamigo and that region has to offer than what Authored brings to the table. And what you're
just a dirty gaijin who doesn't want to go out to see foreigners.
I mean, that's part of it, but at the same time, though, I really feel like if that's the case, that it'll feel like for 4.0, for that patch, we'll have sort of the split in the storylines where we're doing Alamigo stuff and then we're also doing Authored stuff. But that once 4.0 concludes, that from 4.1 to 4.5, it's going to be Authored. And that to me gets really monotonous.
My hope would be that we see something along the lines of, it's been suggested that we lose immediately, or at first in Alamigo we lose and go to Doma to try and get more help, and then if the ending of the story arc is us marching back into Alamigo and this time being able to take it, I could deal with that.
Listen, if you follow the pattern that Square-Enix has set out, given A Realm Reborn and Heaven's Word,
right?
What you end up finding is that the main villain that you're set against, that narrative is usually wrapped up pretty tight by the end of the expansion, so that the expansion story seems fully fleshed out and encapsulated and finished.
That's what I'm saying, though. I'm saying that that will be the trajectory of the 60 to 70 grind.
Okay, so but
and then 4.1 will pick up. Who the fuck knows?
But then 4.1 from that point is ostensibly authored. It's you're only in Doma and those surrounding lands with, I mean, and again, if Nika's theory ends up panning out that Alamigo and that region is destroyed, that's ostensibly land that you can't really go back to. You know what I mean? Like, it just
where are we getting from that it's going to be destroyed, though? I don't get that.
The fact that we've had no playable demo areas or anything that shows that we're actually able to go there.
There's the
There was like concept art and bullshit.
No, there's the
there was actually a question where someone says, "Is
benchmark?" The benchmark had a zone that is in the Alamigo region.
Right, but are we going to get to go into the city?
There was a question.
I'm not saying the entire region is going to be destroyed, but like
someone asked him in an interview, "Is Alamigo a dungeon?" And he said, "Please look forward to it." He said he could not comment one way or another whether it would be like a dungeon or a battlefield or a zone. Look forward to it.
And again,
which is why I think that they just didn't want to create an entire full zone of the actual city, and they're just going to blow it up, and that's why we're going to hate Xenos.
No.
I don't know.
Probably just going to be a 4-man dungeon.
I don't know about
if
that.
If it's a 4-man dungeon, dude, I'm fucking.
Yeah,
I'm going to be
so,
pissed.
I'm going to be so fucking pissed.
That's the Magitech facility.
I'm going to be so fucking pissed.
I think that Alamigo might end up being more like our last sort of like Oz's Lost sort of zone, where there might be a dungeon in it in some way. There's sort of a safe zone sort of part of it, and then the rest of it is still controlled by the Garleans / the Alamigan people who sympathize with them. And so it's, we can explore some of it, but it's, dangerous area.
I'm not saying that if they blow up Alamigo that's even a bad plot point. Like, that's actually a pretty compelling plot point.
Especially if he kills, like, rebel people and his own people, I think that would make him pretty hated.
If we can't have it, no one can.
Yeah, no. And I'm not saying don't do that. That's a stupid plot point. I don't ever want to see that. But Nika, I think that your concerns are well founded in that we have seen limited zones that would be considered in the upper or northwest of Eorzea. Or northeast, sorry, of Eorzea. So, I think that concern is completely legit.
Especially because we had like no indication before this of anything to do with Doma, and then we were all sitting around waiting for the Japanese Fan Fest announcement. All of a sudden, they're like, "Hey, guess what? We're actually going to Doma," and we're like, "Wait, I really wanted to know about Alamigo. What about Alamigo?" They're like,
"Exactly,
no, Kugane." Yeah. Like, what about Alamigo? They're like, "Housing in there." I'm like, "No, let me know about." There was nothing, So I'm just kind of like. Okay.
Yeah, I actually share Nero's sentiment, though, about this idea of terrible pacing and the story being split up, because even if let's say that they don't blow up Alamigo, and we do keep coming back to it, even in like the odd patches, then we're just going to fall right back into the same sort of issues that we had after Heaven's Ward started doing the odd patches with the Warriors of Darkness, where it feels like every time a patch hits, or every time an odd patch hits, it's just a completely different story that feels disconnected from everything.
Right. Yeah, and see, that is my primary concern, because I don't think that the whole 4.x run is going to be all authored. I think a lot of it is going to be an Alamigo, because when we eventually do remove Garlemald from there, you're going to have this vacuum of power, and that usually leads to civil war.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be
true.
Installing a new regime is going to be a focus in the X series. Where
that's just too much work. Just kill all the bad people
that kind of
and
be
then
really
back
interesting
out.
though, because you have the people that have always lived under Garlean rule.
Yeah, you're going to have two
the
factions.
people who on both sides of the original Civil War that went down between the monks and
that's a pretty good point.
Who followed both sides of that faction, and so all three of those people are going to be.
I hate to be the naysayer, but you guys are forgetting one big point here, is that we had a very similar discussion when we talked about the idea of Teleji Adeleji in the Syndicate and this big power vacuum in Ul'dah that never happened.
That's true. Well, but that's because the Sultana never actually died.
Okay,
and
but he also
her, so.
Exactly, but he mentioned like, I saved you, blah 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 blah, gonna return the favor, blah 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 blah. Nothing ever came of that.
But my point is, even after the end,
fruition.
You know what? Actually, that's. Kahlo, you bring up a really fucking great point. You bring up a really great point, because I was sure that was the setup for Omega. Because that's what I thought.
True.
That's what I thought Teleji Adeleji was going after. Why else would you want the
Cart No Flats?
Yeah, the Cart No Flats.
Not to mention, if they would have actually done something with that to where her supposed death but being brought back actually led to something, it wouldn't have been as bad. It would have been disappointing because it's like it takes the bite off, but it still served a greater purpose. The fact that they did nothing with it, that I think is the real crime.
Right. Well, the point I'm just trying to make is like when you look at 3.0. Even after 3.0 ends, the 3.x series still covered two distinct story arcs, and I don't think that they would do just one with 4.x.
I think that you're right, but the problem is that you end up having that very disjointed feel like we had with the Warriors of Darkness. Because yes, you had two concurrent plot points that were running in conjunction, and then one of them really ended up falling dead. You know what I mean? Like the Dragon Song War felt properly fleshed out.
Good.
I felt like if they had tried to, extend that out for another patch or two patches like they had, that it would have gotten too drawn out. It would have been too slow.
Yeah, I agree.
So they needed something, but the Warriors of Darkness just was there for a patch and then gone. And I am concerned a bit about the writing right now.
Yeah.
But they do show one warrior like watching you throw the Nidhogg off the cliff off in the distance, and you see him like hanging out during the summit, like creepily in the back. Like they were like teasing that he was there, but it
wasn't good though.
Yeah, that's really the problem, is that the payoff when we actually got to the confrontation was just so meh.
Well, and I mean, like, going right back to that first time, we cast them into the abyss, and every player in unison said, why?
Yeah.
Why are you doing that? Don't do that. That's dumb.
So that Ilberd can have them, guys.
But I mean, like, that's
too
the thing.
strong to be held by the Warrior of Light for so long.
But when your audience is sitting there going, why? Then I think that's not a good thing to leave your audience with, right?
I'm just happy that at least in the final patch, Amrit goes, yeah, that probably wasn't the best idea. Like they actually had him say that. I was like, okay, at least they acknowledge.
At least they acknowledge they fucked it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, if 4.x has two story arcs and it can balance them, and they're doing one where it's kind of dealing with this power vacuum that we have now in Alamigo, and the other half of it is starting to make our push towards Garlemald, that could be interesting.
It could be.
If they balance it correctly.
Yeah, but balancing is going to be key there.
Yeah. And I think you're right. Like, there is potential for more interesting things in Alamigo, even after we unseat Xenos.
Yeah, especially getting sexually stepped on.
Well, I mean,
that's
goes without saying.
If we not Alamigo. I hate to split hairs with you, Juxta, but that's not Alamigo.
But if we could get Xenos to step on us,
that's that weird Doma shit.
It could go both ways. Maybe we bring her to Alamigo
you
to
go
spread
both
the
ways.
good.
No, I go both ways.
Damn it. We can all go both ways.
Not historically.
Can we not? Anyway, let's just continue on here. Again, lots of glory shots of Author, Doma area, lots of places that we've seen before. I think this is all places that we've seen before. I don't know, like I'm a little concerned that there's maybe only 2 or 3 total zones for this whole
I'm trying to think back
that's all we've seen.
I know, I'm thinking back to the Heavensward trailer, and it didn't show a ton of zones.
You know what? Actually, I will give you that. You're right. So they may be working with a kind of
like we had no idea about Azus Law, and like we really
that is true.
Like,
that is true.
This and
yeah, we actually called out like there's no way a place like Azus Law exists. I'm like, oh well, fuck us then.
Yeah,
but did it really exist?
This is
that's a big thing.
That's Susano. It's
a big thing.
Is that who that is?
That
one. I can't remember.
I think. Hold on.
I can't. I think that is. I can't.
That's who I thought. Yeah, who I thought it looked like.
Yeah, that's right. Since we're going out to E3, we're gonna get an opportunity to get a battle T-shirt. A Susano battle T-shirt. Oh, Nika, I can hear the disappointment. No,
rude.
No.
Nika, I'm getting one for Juxta before I get one for you, and I'm not getting one for Juxta.
Definitely not getting one for Juxta.
It's all bad.
Juxta was super salty about that.
You guys think if I got one and sent it to Skuro that Juxta would be upset?
I think we'd all be upset.
I don't think that's just T-shirt big enough for Skuro.
Oh my God.
He's actually been losing weight, bro.
It's so huge.
No, it's don't say that. Anyway, so I'm excited to do the battle challenge. I hope we get an opportunity to. I think that'll.
I hope we're doing it and Yoshi pulls the cable out on us while we're doing it, disconnects us.
Yes.
Like no.
It's like, you guys lost.
Okay.
Yoshi's T-shirt for you.
This is interesting.
Hi, Altana.
No, Lakshmi.
Oh. Altana would have been more interesting.
Far more humanoid than I was expecting.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Like, I did not expect
Okay, well, if you played Final Fantasy VI for starters, you would know that Lakshmi, also known as Scarlet in the English version, is very much a humanoid version, and she heals you for about a cure 2.5.
Well,
This is what I mean.
I think Lakshmi's
How do you not know this? This is basic knowledge.
Lakshmi has always been pretty humanoid, but I think because she is a primal, that up until this point, even
from the Lamia, right?
Yeah. Well, although actually, you know what?
Lamias are hot. We want to do them, so it makes sense that she'd be hot.
No, stop. Now, we don't know exactly what the background of the origin of the Lamia are, right? But if they originally came from some type of humanoid aspect, maybe they were once humans, and now they are what they are.
The idealized version of themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That might make a little bit more sense. That's the thing we have to remember is she is a primal, so she is born in their image, whatever they imagine her to be.
It wouldn't surprise me. In 11, the Lamia were results of humans being experimented on.
Yeah.
I just wasn't expecting, like 15 years ago, Rachel Lee Cook. That's the weird part to me.
I agree. It took me off guard too.
Yeah, I don't know. I if it's especially for primals, I expect more distorted features or whatever.
Lakshmi's just beauty personified is basically what her element
that's what
is.
Siren was supposed to be, though.
No, Siren kills soldier or sailors.
lures them in with her
and she's got big wings coming out of her head at least.
But even Sophia was
a helmet.
Was more had more primal.
Sophia was very humanoid, but had that fantasy.
There was still something about her.
Exactly. This chick just looks like a big giant person.
Well, hold on. Cecil says we never actually see what's under her skirt.
Throbbing Mikode Fudakok. Right.
That is actually true. I mean, it does seem like there might be something a little bit more to her and her character design.
I mean, someone says, isn't she a giant snake from the waist down?
I don't know. I could not see.
Someone says snake.
Giant snake lady.
I could not.
Snake bottom half phase 2.
I couldn't see a snake bottom half. I don't know that just looked. It just looked like a dress. It just looked like some kind of ethereal.
But it's so
nonsense
huge
happening.
And floaty that it's
in her
possible
cooch.
she's hiding it under there.
Maybe she's molting right
There's
now.
50 Lalafels under there just holding her up.
Or maybe this is how in a lot of games or whatever that the monsters can use magic to conceal what they really look like. So phase 2, the magic wears off and her evil form comes out.
But she's not supposed to be an evil one.
But we're fighting her.
Okay, we fought Ramu too, and it was just a test.
Nika, can you be smart for a little bit?
Rude.
Damn.
I just meant big scary monster looking thing.
She's not scary looking. She's very nice. We want to do her. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, she looks.
This all comes down to Juxta wants to do her.
She's primal waifu. Okay,
I see.
The primal
You
waifu.
still do her if she has a snake bottom half.
Would you not? What kind of question is that?
What's your stance on cochlea?
Anyway,
he doesn't know what that is.
Let's.
I think it's the wrong word anyway.
Let's
for dragons.
Let's talk about this area, the ramen bowl, as Juxta likes to refer to it.
Look at the size of that house on it. How do you have much more besides that?
I think, well, and again, because I think when you see this, the expectation is that, maybe the dwellings or whatever kind of, work upwards.
Oh, maybe they're inside of it?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'm very curious to see what the actual structure on the inside of this looks like. But
you actually just got me legitimately excited for this now.
Here's another thing that I've noticed is that these structures kind of on the outside, they look almost like stone fingers coming out of the ground.
I was thinking when I saw that picture, I was like, is that Final Fantasy 15 Titan getting ready to grab this thing? He's got to get his cup noodles.
Fingers.
It really is very enigmatic, very interesting. And I think that this is some of the environmental detail that, Square Enix has always been so good at, that I'm always so engaged by, that, I'm really interested to know what, what this place is kind of all about.
Hazard 1121 says that it kind of looks like Noah's Ark, or that it could be an ark of some sort.
I see
Survive
that.
the flood through that?
I see that.
Made out of stone?
You know what I'm actually really excited about? And it's not that Square Enix has done a bad job of this thus far, but a lot of this stuff that's popping up in Authard now, I feel like a lot more detail and effort has gone into weaving and creating a history and lore of the zones here.
It does look like the top of Kami's Lookout.
It kind of does. I don't know. I don't know if I totally agree with that, Kahlo. Again, I think we'd have to have to get hands on and really be able to play it to really be able to make that kind of assessment.
Well, all right, let me rephrase. What we've seen, I feel like there's more to draw on from a standard zone from like the original like a Realm Reborn type area.
Yeah, a lot of it has to do with context. And I think one of the zones that always really kind of did this for me in Final Fantasy XI was Soramug Champagne, where when you travel through it, you've got all of these towers that are fallen, and you've got all of these battlements that have clearly been damaged over time, but they give you no explanation of what you're running through.
Yeah,
and you're like, what happened here?
It is amazing because that zone on its face looked boring as shit. Like, it is just like the grayest of gray.
But the thing is every time I ran through it, I was always like, I wonder what the fuck happened here.
Battle of Stormblood.
And they paid that off later in Wings of the Goddess by showing you what the zone was while it was, under siege.
Showing, the Battle of Saramug and the sacking of Garlish Citadel.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to draw another parallel from FF11 to, where
this game will never be FF11 2 in Nero.
I know it won't, and that's okay.
That's for the best.
But the other parallel that I want to draw is that I hope Alamigo as a city doesn't become analogous to what Tavnasia was.
Oh.
Where it's just sort of like this, MacGuffin or red herring that never gets paid off.
Mystical city that never appears.
Right.
Tavnasia? Well, I mean, Sandoria story. You find out what happened.
Yeah, but you never get to go there. It's shown in the fucking opening credits.
Tavnasia itself, you only get to see it.
You never even get to go to its ruins. Like, that is never paid off, and that was one of the things that always drove me fucking crazy.
Yep, you get to see. You can go see it like one time.
You want to talk about teasing and paying stuff off. One of the coolest things that Square Enix did in Heaven's Ward that up until now, at least we have no evidence thus far, they haven't done again, is remember when we first started seeing the Void Arc in Sea of Clouds? Just like flying through the cloud, like how that lit fucking everything up, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, that thing's so cool! What could it be?" They've never done that again.
Well, we wouldn't see that until 4.0.
Right, but what I'm saying is I don't know. Obviously, I'm not smart enough to necessarily come up with teases for everything, but it just seems like it's such a small thing to be able to do that you could just put like one or two guys like, hey, we want to tease the next leg of the raid somehow, right? How could we do that?
So you're saying you want to see that more often?
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm all for that. Like I would say, like a Void Arc equivalent tease we wouldn't see till 4.0.
Right.
I don't want to see that.
But even back through Heaven's Ward, because that Void Arc thing happened early on, so, why didn't they find other, ways to, like, tease stuff like that?
Well, you could see Gold Saucer off in the distance before we got access to it.
Yeah, but we knew what that was going to be.
Yeah, we knew that Gold Saucer was coming.
I mean, true, but it was really cool to see in the distance, like the floating lights and everything.
Yeah, you're right. It was. But yeah, I think that type of in-game tease that you don't tell anybody about and people have to find it themselves, because then that spreads through the community like absolute wildfire. And I think regardless of what your temperament is towards the game, when something like that happens, you can't help but get hyped.
Sorry, I forgot my mic was off. And one of the things that I think I find frustrating about modern MMO development is that, at least in older style MMOs, it was sort of like they put you in a world and the world didn't really care about you. But what Final Fantasy XIV does is it puts you squarely at the center of everything. It puts you at the center of every bit of conflict that's going on. There's nothing that doesn't really involve you or doesn't work its way back to you. You're a sounding board for everything that is happening in Eorzea that's relevant. There's no sense that it feels like when you're not directly paying attention to the place, time freezes there, and nothing interesting happens.
I counter with the Scions with Hori Boulder. He goes on adventures with his brother, and I'm sure they're fucking those two Mithra or the Mikute sisters.
I had completely forgotten about Hoary Boulder.
How do you forget about these important things? Hold on. The battle that you get to have with him back in 2.0 is actually really cool. That's a really cool moment.
Yeah. More Hoary Boulder, less Y'shtola dying. Well, more of that too, but less Y'shtola.
But there does seem to be, you know, this
a little time bubble that's around him.
I mean, not just that, but at the same time, like I feel like there's a monotony to having to know everything or to be the protector of the world. I miss the perspective that an MMO would give you, where you're just a piece of the world. And that's it. And that's all you are. It's not some, you know, grand fucking plan to have you save everything. You are a person and you rise to the occasion.
There was moments they could have done really cool stuff like with that in Heaven's Ward, like where while we're off doing something, something bad happened while we're gone. Like, you know, by our not being there, this was an actual loss that happened.
I mean, there were a few times that I think they had the potential to do that with the, you know, the little sort of, I don't want to say war, but the little kerfuffles that were going on between, kerfuffles that were going on between the heretics and, or even the lowborn and the highborn, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there was that kind of stuff that kind of happened, but nothing ever really came of it, because we got there in time. You guys remember when the Asians went into the Waking Sands and just murdered everybody?
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, we got, like, that was the point.
We had to take the bodies out.
We all had to, like, take a step back and be like, what?
Yeah.
Fuck? And they're even, like, dead. What are the fucking little sylphs?
Sylph.
They're just like, I mean, that was traumatizing. Like, what happened? Not just we were annoyed by the sylphs, they were like the cute little innocent creatures, and then they were dead, and we're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and they were all dead.
That was when the story took a definite.
Was that the Garleans or was that the Asians that did that?
No, I think that was Livia, wasn't it? Wasn't it Livia?
Livia.
Yeah.
I thought that's when the Asians came and kidnapped Menphilia, and then we have to go.
That's right. They broke into the Waking Sands twice. Yeah, I forgot about that. As if
not a safe place.
Sorry, guys, I don't raid, so I don't know these story cutscene things.
It's understandable.
But you do make a really good point that so much of what happens in this game is utterly dependent and driven by us.
Yes.
Which Yoshi has straight up said that he tells both the MSQ team and the Quest team that any decisions that happen in the story, he wants them to be dependent on the Warrior of Light, that everyone around the Warrior of Light should be affected by his or her decisions.
Right. But the only problem with doing that is that, like, because we can't actually speak any lines in the game, and we never do, it just feels like everything, like literally our life is people walking up to it and say, here's my problem. Are you able to stab it?
Right.
Stoic nod.
And then you just stoic nod. Or you give a sad... No.
Yeah, that is a good point. Where your problems don't feel like your own.
Yeah, exactly. Like if they could come. This, I don't know how you'd ever work this, but if
your
they could come to
tasks
us,
don't feel like your own.
But if they could ever come to us and we would just say, "No, I'm not helping with that.
Nope,
fuck you." Like if you had that kind of option, it would make it feel a little more real.
But you can do that
by not playing,
by coming to the Moogle Beast tribe. You can be like, no, your problems are your own. Bye. And then
you just have that quest that sits there on forever flagged.
Okay, well, and then the dragons are gonna come and burn the Moogles down, and you're gonna be happy.
But that doesn't happen.
It doesn't actually happen if you ignore them.
Exactly.
You can pretend.
No, if we would actually allowed to say no, and the dragons come burn them to death, you know how few Moogles would be left in this world?
That is true. But it's those types of things. Like I feel like
it's harder than MMO when you create your own character, and it's basically supposed to be us. Like. That's why silent protagonists are always meant to put yourself into their shoes. So in an MMO, especially where every character is different and we're not all playing the same character, it's harder to do something.
And that's the thing. It's really hard to do something like that because you'd get infinitely more moments of cast it into the abyss. Where it's like, well, I don't want to say that though.
Exactly. But that's only if you're trying to hold to the rigidity and the structure of a script or tell an inherent story. If the players get to choose what their story is, then the dialogue that you go through more times than not is, what the fuck do you want to buy? Like, that's it. Like, there's like shop dialogue, and then and what you're typing to other fucking players. Like that, I think is inherently a little bit more interesting to me than having, because, and I'm not saying that FF14 doesn't have a good story. It clearly does have a very good and compelling story. The problem with it is that the story's over when it's over. Like you know what I mean? Like it's only expanded with the developer, and it's never. Like the player never takes ownership of it.
And that's the thing, like that's one thing that the Old Republic did so damn well. And I mean, obviously we've joked that it's gone down, but it didn't go down because of its story. The story in that was so good. And yeah, of course, whatever you pick, you're going to get to the result eventually, but things would change. Like you could influence, like you'd have different people in your group at the end of it as part of your narrative collection.
And again, and I'm not saying that Square Enix needs to do that with their game. Obviously, they have laid out that this is a narrative-driven game, and that's fine. But the thing is that that leads to things like the only history that you're able to come across is stuff that has been definitively written to happen before your influence. There is nothing. It feels like there is nothing going on actively right now in the world that you are not being clued in on or aware of as the Warrior of Light.
Yep.
And I think that there is, there's a certain level of monotony to that. You know what I mean? Like I like the idea that player agency ends up having some kind of end effect on the world or the community or whatever. Like that was always the thing that drew me to MMOs far more than, hey, look at this sword that I got,
Yeah, and oh my god, like I say, I go back to the Old Republic, and in my character, I had a Sith character where the first half of the story is you trying to hunt down this girl and kill her. And when you finally do, you get the option then to try to turn her to the dark side if you want to.
Right.
You can offer right there and she's just gone forever, or you can turn her to the dark side and she becomes one of your romantic interests and she stays with you for the rest of the game. It gives you I feel like I made a choice in this game and it changed the end result.
Yeah.
And by the way, for those of you who want to know what it's like, what we're dealing with today, it is so goddamn humid in here.
Oh my God.
The Velcro holding up our foam is starting to give way.
Actually, that fell when I sneezed. I think that was my fault.
I think it's the humidity.
Appreciate it. Actually, that thing just falls a lot. The Velcro you bought is shitty. So, thanks.
It's your fault.
Thanks for that. Appreciate it.
You can buy industrial strength Velcro at Walmart. It's not.
Yeah, I know, but that's not what he bought.
I bought nails too. How are those working?
They're difficult for corners, for corner pieces.
That's true.
Anyway, let's go back to our phone lines. Take another call here from Fate and Darius from the Genova server. What's going on, Fate?
Oh, doing great. Looking forward to the expansion, just like everyone else here listening to the show. It's great to hear from you.
Well, thanks for calling Limit Break Radio.
Yeah, I'd like to put out a PSA out there for all those adventurers looking forward to the Stormblood, depending on where you're located, 3 to 5 a.m. Welcome, gents. It's going to be a great adventure. Cam girls, weeaboos, and waifu pillows all over the place for this expansion, but the point of that I'm bringing up is that when you go out and adventure, please bring a buddy. That's the whole thing, because I apparently have been going through back and forth with the FC, and apparently I'm going through in as DPS for the first time, simply because we won't have to worry about long wait times. We're talking about possibly an hour and a half to 2 hours of queue times, and even in a recent
2 hours of queue times. Jeez.
Yes.
No, DPS, prepare your buttholes. It's going to be bad.
It's going to be brutal.
So please prepare for that. Obviously, Yoshi P had been questioning this, and he said, "Well, if you're gonna like your job, you're gonna play your job." And that is not really an answer, and I don't accept that answer. But in response, please, everyone who is listening, I implore you to get prepared, buddy up, get a tank, get a healer, join in on the fun, get instant queued, and have a good, awesome time.
Fate and Darius from the Genova server. Thanks for the call. If you want to call Limit Break Radio on Skype 810.
I got my buddy set up already.
Number? What's our phone number? 810-515-8715. limitbreakradio.com/Discord.
Did you guys know that I'm actually going to level a healer for Stormblood?
No.
What?
Yeah, no, Juxta, we talked about this, because obviously you're going to level your white mage. So now when we do those big FC runs into the Omega Time Rift thing, whatever, me and him are going to be the healers with our life grips.
Right, rescue, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
We're going to be pulling you motherfuckers all over the place.
You have just assured me I will never do a dungeon with you.
Yeah, you will.
By the way...
Not just a dungeon, a raid. So we have
hell no.
2 rescues.
Okay, even without the rescue thing, I wouldn't raid with you.
Yoshi P, can obviously we all know that White Mage's Lily mechanic is garbage, so please just give me this and have the Lily recast down affect rescue. That's all I want.
Oh, yes. We're gonna get a pack in 4.1. We're gonna be like the ability for players to decline a rescue has been added, and it's gonna be called the Juxta Clause.
Yeah.
Oh,
that sounds accurate. So anyway, all right, let's continue on here past the ramen bowl.
Yeah, we're doing this.
Yeah, that's right.
There's our motley crew.
Yep. A lot. Well, there's a butt.
But
here we go. We get to see this guy. Who is this guy? Do we know?
Hein or Heen, H-E-I-N or something.
Yeah.
Hien.
Very original samurai character. Do not steal.
Original character.
Yeah, like
name's Mitsurugi.
Like
remember it.
The thing is I mean, he's on a cliff.
Cue Auron's theme.
Looking out over a fucking plane, like
he's stoic and mysterious.
He is a pink robe away from being Rurouni Kenshin.
That is painful.
Red hair.
Like that's how close we are.
It really is. It really is.
Hey, some in the chat agree with me.
All of those fucking...
I don't know. That might be Yida, guys.
All of those fucking people who have been like, oh, the weebiness is not going to be a problem.
She's not hot enough to be Yida.
I hope...
Come on.
I hope... This is what I hope, guys. I hope that we don't actually kill Xenos. He managed to get away somehow, but we think we kill him. He ditches all of his stuff, dyes his hair, and this is him accompanying us through all of Author to spy on us.
You know what? He is dedicated. That's how we can make a Nero hate him. He goes full on weeb.
Back and forth every time.
This is the whiny side of him. This is his Anakin line.
Honestly, like if they basically made Xenos Titus, that would get me to hate him.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah,
I'd hate him. Basically Titus.
Titus meets Anakin.
Oh, Jesus.
Titakin.
Damn it.
He's a blitzball player that hates sand.
That makes sense, I guess. Prefers the water.
This is, by the way, if you haven't, I know that a lot of people either watch this show, on live on Twitch or download the podcast and never actually go to limitbreakradio.com and see the
banner art.
Yeah, the banner art that we put up for every episode, because every episode has a unique banner. We also have them on YouTube as well. But Kahlo had actually done the banner for, what was it, the Weeb Revolution was what we called the name of the episode?
That was for the Stormblood benchmark trailer.
Which used this scene.
And I put all the different like rage faces, like on all the different characters.
It actually, I thought it was legitimately one of the best banners that we've ever made. But I now love this scene for that.
You just imagine all the rage faces.
That's
on
all
them.
I see. That's all I don't even see these guys' actual faces anymore. All I see is the fucking rage faces. All right, there's more weeby shit. Although, hang on,
okay, go back there for a second.
I want to go back here.
Yeah, go back.
I saw some cool stuff here.
Now, we've technically seen this before, but I don't think we've ever really touched on the idea of there being like a full-on battle anywhere in Authard, have we?
No, we have. We didn't talk. Like, yes, we have talked about this setting before. This temple. I think at one point, doesn't it show this temple destroyed or underwater? Am I fucking
God, you're not.
Am I fucking
we were talking about how there was the ruins of that tower. That is it, right?
This is it.
That is it, right? Like,
and we were all speculating maybe it was something left over from like the olden days.
Yeah,
that's definitely it.
Oh my gosh.
Or we lose a battle and it sinks.
Holy shit.
This just added actually a layer now that I'm really interested by, because the idea that you can have some kind of fucking setting that ends up getting destroyed and you lose access to through a narrative sense, I think that's very compelling.
No, there's never any proof we actually get to go into it in the first place. It's possible we come up to it, fight, and it's gone before we ever get into it.
Well, or this is a duty.
That's possible too.
Stop saying that.
But I think, dude, I really think that that it's much more interesting and inherently interesting if we got to go in it, and then afterwards it was destroyed.
That would be cool.
It does look like something that, if we were to be able to explore, like, you see a platform up here, up top with this big door. That may be our exit as the thing is sinking. There's a lot of. I think that this is a very cool. This presents some really interesting potential. I'd love to be able to find the screenshot of this place sunk, though, because I don't
remember it being sunk. It was just like really destroyed.
It was flooded. It was flooded.
Right. Where you see
top of it was all beat up.
Where you see all those rings right there was definitely water going into those.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, the concentric rings down below. And then another really interesting aspect of this shot that I didn't notice before is up here. What is this? This looks like some kind of bridge or twisted railing, something that's been destroyed. That's up here.
It looks like vines to me.
I think that looks like maybe it might even be a train track of some kind.
Oh, maybe.
No. Yeah, I don't think that's just vines.
At the top left, though, don't those look like leaves coming off?
I mean, it kind of does, but it is also blurry too, so it's kind of tough to exactly discern. I'm now actually pretty interested to
see what's going on here.
Yeah.
And this, like,
here we go. Well, actually, I feel like now we're running through it. If you look at this scene right here, I think this is that same temple.
It could be.
Yeah.
Because it kind of
maybe.
Is that a fire in front of that big building, or is that big building collapsing in the background?
I'm gonna have to see it in motion.
I think it's a fire.
I believe that's a fire, but let me.
Yeah, it's definitely a fire.
There is something there does look like there is some kind of bomb or something that is falling during that scene.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's on the left side. There's stuff falling off the roof.
That looks like either part of the building is collapsing over here, like that's either a spire or that looks like it could be a missile of some kind.
It looks like it just got hit with like a mortar or something, and it's like coming apart.
Very interesting. Yeah,
it's definitely a duty.
I definitely think that's some damage there. Yeah, you know what, Juxta? I think I agree. This is looking more and more like a duty.
There's a crane over there.
That's
a Final Fantasy VI reference.
Crane?
Yeah, when you're trying to escape Vector,
yeah.
You're in the airship and the two cranes attack you.
I remember that fight.
And you have to use fire on one and lightning on the other. And if you use it the wrong way, then they get supercharged up.
So yeah, I think that this is definitely indication of a dungeon right here. Yeah, and then actually we see the actual damage happening.
This place is going down.
Yeah, I mean, even though it is a dungeon, it does look like there is a lot of narrative aspects. There's a lot of storytelling going on here. And again, we did say that we want to feel like our decisions matter, like we have some kind of impact. And yes, a checksum of where you are in the MSQ is a very easy way to take something from, you know what I mean, from one state to the other. Yeah,
yep,
exactly,
absolutely.
But small things like that, I think, do help with with the immersion factor.
It is fun when you later on, maybe you're watching someone stream and they pass by there and it's still in its original form because they haven't done it yet. And you're like, oh yeah, man, the olden days.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of neat.
Yeah, that's a good point. And it's not like we don't get any aspect of being able to make an imprint or impact on the world. It's just it's been kind of not minimized, but it's been focused into two very specific aspects or areas of the game, which have been Mordona and Idyllshire. That's it.
And those seem like they're happening irrelevant of us.
Yes.
Oh yeah, because those are people like the goblins were just building up Idyllshire.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Completed a new section every path with or without us. Like if we weren't there, they would still be building that town. So.
Yeah, like if that they could still implement it patch by patch, but have it be like you only get the next version of Idyllshire once you've cleared that section of Alexander or something like that. Like
that's
something
MSQ.
You do is or the MSQ. Something you do affects the next step.
That's not just a patch update. Yeah.
Right.
That's not a bad idea.
They should also put in a little mini game where, like, when they put the garden in the back of Idyllshire, you have to help plant it and pick out the different, turn into like a little mini game.
That sounds very FF11-esque.
Involve the Mogs somehow.
Now it sounds very FF11-esque. Sorry.
Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to be very interested to see what ends up happening in that dungeon right there.
Even though it's full of weebs.
Yeah, I'm now much more interested in it.
I like what Tumberian just said. Do it in reverse. Give us a whole town, and each patch, a new part gets destroyed.
I like this pause that I got of Lise here. She sort of, this is like stoner Lise.
Can I touch it?
Oh, now that's all I see, you asshole.
What? Can I touch it? There's a
Damn
giant.
It.
The warrior
There's a
light's
giant
like,
dick
here's
off
my
screen.
giant dong.
It's so huge.
Did you know that Heidelin picks her warriors of light based on penis size?
Kidding.
What about those of us that don't have one?
You're a femro. You got one. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
But other female characters.
We don't give a shit.
No, they all do. Have you played this game?
Oh, okay, that's true. There are no females online. They're all really males.
Move on from stoner Elise here. I really
She's got like a little guitar dagger thing on her other arm.
Dancer confirmed.
That's
secret dancer confirmed.
That's not monk-like.
They just look like they're gonna make out. They just look
after
like
she touches it.
Yeah, the dong.
Yeah. Like really, they just look like they're gonna make out super
Like they're
hard.
definitely not fighting through any kind of malice. Like they're sparring or something while they're training for the rebellion. Something simple like
They're
that.
doing battle with their tonsils.
But I believe I requested the hand job.
Yes.
The way he's looking at her, he's like, I'm gonna tongue punch your shit box.
Wow.
Yeah. What? Whoa.
That's exactly what that look.
Okay.
That's exactly what that look says.
I just opened my mouth and out it came.
They're not gonna do battle. They're gonna do butt battle.
Butt stunts.
Yeah, he has an interesting hairstyle going on there too.
I don't know. That hairstyle's dumb.
And then here's just a bunch of
that's what I mean by
new
interesting.
abilities. And
Actually, hang on. There is a couple of things in here. Nika had pointed this out, and we just kind of summarily ignored it. But
Ixion confirmed.
Ixion right here. Got that lightning horse.
That was straight up Ixion. Yeah.
It looks like a fate.
It does.
It's gonna be a fate.
It does, and you know what? I think that's also kind of the disappointing thing when you see shit like this. You know, you see that it's open world. You see that it's a big thing that you're fighting, and you go, "Yep, that's a fate."
Do we think this might be like the Odin co-whirl of Stormblood?
Yeah,
Could
Yep.
be.
Drops Harchenfott shield.
Yeah.
There were people saying that somehow there was a tease of an Ixion mount, so it's going to be more like you do a big Ixion fate with the chance of getting the mount or something.
Well, that was like, isn't that what Odin's original fate was like?
Yeah, barding.
Barding, yeah, that was barding. Sorry.
Yeah.
People are saying there's patch note rumors that have been flying around. They're not confirmed yet.
Yeah, we'll see about that. There's
Someone in the chat also suggested that might have been Eureka. With
Okay.
Ixion in it.
Okay.
That could be too.
It did not look like it looked like that zone was the other side of Baelsar's wall.
It did.
That's what that zone looked like. So if I had to guess, yeah, I think that's indicative of a fate or a hunt.
I think it could be a fate on the level of Odin.
Yeah,
Omega
exactly.
or
But isn't
Cobra,
that fucking disappointing though? A fate on the level of Odin?
I think there
did
should
still
be
get an
one.
Odin instance later on.
Well, but I mean, we didn't get that for the Coral. We didn't get that for the. We didn't get that for the two Heavensward. Who did
that
the
Ultima
fucking
one?
two Heavensward ones?
Not me.
No one.
I
did.
might have done the Coral
I've done
once
the
on
Cobra
accident.
Juno one a few times. I have never ever caught the Ultima one.
If the Ultima one happened, I would do it. Like if I happened to be there when it was going, I
I've
would.
never seen it happen, but with the Coral Regina one, because there's so few reasons to go to Azaslaw. Like I was there for certain story things. I go there for the one dungeon and the Warring Triad, and I'm there for Relic.
I completely forgot Proto Ultima was a thing.
Yeah, I've never ever caught that fate.
What does it even like drop? Like, what's the point?
You get just like Coral Regina, you get tokens that you go and buy stuff. I think you can get like those Ultima, like you get horn things or something.
It's the Ultima horn. Dumb.
Terrible.
Dumb.
I don't know, like I wanted them though, but I could never get them because that fate doesn't exist.
Why? And that's the thing is, if it does fucking pop, nobody goes.
Or knows that it happened.
Because why? Because
People
why?
did Odin for a long
But the
time
thing
because
is,
they
back in
wanted
the
the
day,
barding.
though, back in the day, I
Behemoth.
always saw in link shells, people would tell us when Coral Regina was up. I never saw anyone say when Ultima was up.
Yeah, I remember I was in a Fate LS, and yeah, people would always say for Coral, but never
Really?
for... Yeah.
I don't think I ever saw Coral Regina.
Well, Coral Regina drops a card, too, and...
Oh.
I don't know. So there's like
The
more
card
reasons
reward.
to do it.
Yeah, no, I never saw an Ultima Pop. Only Coral.
What is this enemy here?
Juxta?
What is this?
Hold on, gotta get. Is it the little face thing?
It's the monster coming out of the water.
Is that FF?
That's FF8.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the little. I mean, obviously, it's like a little zombie. Oh, it's
Gargantua?
Not Gargantua. No.
He's a normal enemy. He's got like
I think it's a normal enemy.
By the way, where in this scene, where is Kryl headed off to?
Looks like she's gone through one of the doors to Kingdom Hearts.
She's going back to her home planet now.
I mean, it looks very Allegan.
It does, actually.
If I had to guess. But
it's like she's being sealed away for some reason.
Yeah. What's going on there?
It's because she's a Lalafell, and Lalafell aren't allowed to be cool.
Well, I mean, if Stormblood is the attempt by the developers to purge the Lalafell menace, I'm okay with this.
That. Yeah.
No.
Finally. Yes.
No,
he'll be missed.
Kryl is unfortunately part of that menace, yeah. It looks like she's at least accepting her fate, though.
Yeah.
So.
She's like, I know I'm a Lalafell. This is for the best.
Yeah, here's this.
Yeah, that's
fucking creepy.
That's a normal monster from FF8.
Someone said Visage.
Yep. That's your game.
I know.
Why aren't you knowledgeable about it?
I thought Visage was the... It doesn't matter. Yeah, I did not know that.
Creepy, though. I mean, just,
spooky looking.
In terms of the texturing on it, very creepy.
Mm-hmm.
And we see some red mage blowing up some Dullahan. Okay, all right, hold up.
Who the fuck was that?
Hold up.
Was that Anubis?
Back up. All right, we got to talk about this. We got to talk about
furries
this.
confirmed.
Okay, there have been a lot of speculation about this. People saying that this could possibly be a new race.
Vieira.
A new beast.
That's a wolf.
A new beast tribe.
I know.
Wolf era.
I think it's probably just some type of like headgear.
Okay, now keep in mind that werewolves are canon in Final Fantasy V lore.
And there was some type of pre-production artwork for FF14 that had a race that was not dissimilar to this. Yeah. Now the thing is, though,
there was another. But if you watch, I just keep playing that clip over and over. When he points the sword and faces forward, nothing like you think he'd be talking or saying onward. His mouth isn't moving. It's got to be a mask.
Okay, but no. See, I think there's another frame of this somewhere on the internet that has like the mouth open. So I think it's possible that it is actually like, you know,
it's a mask. It's a mask. There are people who are trying to pass this off as a new race. It's a fucking mask.
That's true.
Well, wait. No, look at the one. I mean, are they wearing tails too? They all have tails on.
They're all furries.
Yeah, that's just their thing.
I don't know if it does seem a little weird that they would wear masks and tails.
You can't have
a bunch of fucking furgits, okay?
You can't have a Weeaboo expansion without the furry element in it.
That's true.
Oh god, that's so right.
God damn.
Hi.
Yeah. You're not totally off base there. But I mean, there have been a lot. I mean, I can even see the chat going back and forth about it now. There have been a lot of arguments whether this is supposed to be a beast tribe or whether this is supposed to be a new race. And I'm coming down on the side. This is a mask. It's a tribe of
weebs,
of furries.
Yeah, of furries, basically.
You fox-eared asshole!
That is such a good drop for this. That is accurate. Although I kind of. Maybe this is a little nitpicky on my part, but I feel like the texturing on the heads not very good.
Oh gosh, it's horrible.
Really,
that's
looks really bad.
And not a face because it's all like solid.
You see, that just proves the point. Because you ever seen fucking furries in their stupid fursona costumes? They look fucking terrible.
That is true. All right, that's a good point.
True 1-to-1.
That's a good point. We see more move animations being shown off here. I've seen a lot of these already. Badass scorpion looking thing. There's Pippin. And
oh, good. Pippin's back.
Yeah.
Gonna get to see a little bit more of him.
I hope he dies.
And let's see. We
turn into a baked potato.
What if he gets stepped on?
I mean, we've also got Yagiri here and one of the Wonder Twins. I'm not sure which one.
That's Alice.
Is it Alice?
Yeah. You can tell because of the clothes.
Oh,
yeah. They actually wear different clothes now. Alice has the
unfortunately.
That's right.
Alice has the boring
shit
coat.
tan.
I could just not. I don't care enough. Like I just don't. I can't bother myself to care. Alize looks like she's getting taken down as well. I mean, that looks like blood.
Is that blood?
That looks like blood.
Is she dying? No, she's not, because it's not running down her face.
Dude, I'm ready for this. Everyone's dying this patch. Everyone's going down or catching the plague.
Well, it's you know why they're all dying. They're killing off all the women.
Oh.
All the lesser of the genders are getting murdered off.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
You know, if Xenos
Waiting
does
on
go
Nika to
through
just jump in here
and like just
anytime.
systematically kills all of our allies, yeah, we might hit him a little bit after that.
All the
I don't
female
know.
ones, and then it just becomes a fucking boner fest.
Oh wait!
Sausage fest.
So you mean Xenos is actually going to make good on a narrative promise that was made to us fucking an entire expansion ago?
You geeks are so gullible.
Or are they all going to live somehow? They're going to teleport through the aether and come back again. Fuck this, man.
You get no goodwill, Square-Enix.
But like the scene right before Alisei goes, you see Yugiri looking really, really sad. She clearly
No,
is sad.
she's
'cause
just
Stormblood is
looking.
dying.
She's not looking
her face is
anything.
So sad.
She's not
Every
looking.
time I see that, I'm like, oh my God, Yugiri, I want to give you a hug. What happened? Are you okay? Every time.
I bet-
Look at the sparkle in her eye and her sad, like droopy eyes in her mouth.
Oh my gosh.
She's not just looking.
If I had one wish for this expansion, this is what it is. That Emmerich and Yugiri got together, and this is her looking at a dying Emmerich.
Oh my
What? That
God.
is so out of left field.
Or his dick.
Or a dying Alisei. Or Gosetsu.
Nobody would care.
Everyone's dying. Everyone is dying.
All of them die. Great.
Would it even matter if Gosetsu died?
No.
Nobody cares.
But
Nobody
the thing
cares
is that
enough
it went
about
for
it.
Yugiri's arc because they're friends. Or
We
something.
have Hien as a backup.
Yeah, we have another samurai. And then we have Xenos is a third tier samurai.
I just don't think she looks that sad. I don't know.
I don't know. Like her eyes are closed and she opens them and she clearly is looking at someone sadly.
It's classic sparkly eye anime.
All right. All right.
Yeah, like she's definitely, and she like smiles like, oh, I guess.
I want
you'll
that
be okay. And then-
flamethrower.
Flamethrower is
Be
a
machinist,
is a
yeah.
new
A
machinist.
machinist.
Yeah, is a new machinist mechanic that can obviously be used for damage, but Yoshi says that it can also be used for expelling the heat gauge, not necessarily always
What was
for
that red
damage.
Fenrir looking thing?
Yeah, I'm slowing it down to be able to catch this because I think I just caught this for the first time. Let's slow this down to half speed. There we go. We've got. Yeah, we've got the flamethrower move, and now here we've got this boss. Ah, fuck! I was one frame off. It's one frame off. We've got this boss here that looks like that's the chick that steps on her head, right?
Oh my gosh!
Right? Like that's her. That's fucking.
her.
That looks. It looks like her same hairstyle. It just looks like she's been Final Fantasy bossified.
huge.
Yeah, she's whipped open the robe now.
I hope they bring back Shiva's ult move from the primal fight where she just steps on your head.
No, wasn't that from the one dungeon they did at the media tour? I think that was the second boss.
Is
Yeah,
it?
someone's saying
You
Ruby
were saying
Princess
it's
from
Ruby
She's
Princess.
Sweet.
That,
Yeah.
What if she is that then? I
Yeah.
totally
Well,
yeah, you don't know. You don't
using
know
her
that she's not.
transforming into that. Yeah.
Why would they make her a second boss then?
That's true.
Yeah, she would be the final boss of wherever she's at, probably.
Is it under? Does that look like it's underwater? It doesn't look like it's.
No, it's
quite
I mean, the
underwater.
whole. We do know that the whole dungeon is underwater.
Yeah,
It looks like it's in a dojo.
exactly. Not
Yes,
like it's
the
underwater.
whole thing is underwater. It's in one of those bubble domes.
Things. Yeah.
Right. I mean, this scene right here, that doesn't look like it's underwater.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to, because you're in a fucking bubble.
But you can still see outside, and it would still be like
You're
blue and shit.
inside.
There's still
What the fuck are you talking about?
There's still a certain fucking aesthetic to being under the water in a bubble, and outside we can see the fucking sunlight.
What?
No, he's saying, Cal,
What
he's
are
saying
you
you're
fucking
inside.
talking about?
You're inside a dojo, inside the bubble. There's no way to see the top of the bubble.
Those weren't windows in the background there?
Like
No.
it's like in any window in FF14 where you can't see through it.
Yeah, it's just going to be a fucking color.
It's yellow.
Okay, I was
can't
gonna say,
see
it
out the
looked
goddamn
like
window.
You could.
What? I'm gonna. Okay,
why
now.
you so angry?
Yes, go back to
Now
it.
I'm
Fine,
going
pro-
back because
fine,
you're
prove me
fucking
wrong.
insane.
Whatever, fine.
You're out of your fucking mind.
I'm also
I don't know what
sitting
you're-
twice as far away from your little screen as you are. It is a split-second thing.
I don't know what you're babbling about. And you're not making any fucking sense.
And you're sneezing all the time.
No, I've kind of stopped sneezing.
God damn, these fucking air conditioners are
Right?
loud.
I can actually.
That's
hear
all
it
I
loud,
can.
too.
That's all I can hear. Now you're gonna ask me to get
No,
right
you don't
back
have
on
to
the
if you don't
fucking-
want to.
on the fucking. There's like 3
No,
frames.
It was.
Look at that.
It's the,
That's not.
yeah, it's the paneling of
What
the
the
dojo.
what the Christ are you talking about? What are you talking about? There's no windows. There's nothing. There's nothing in there.
Yes, that's
not
just
a
like
single
a
thing.
painted thing. From where I'm sitting right here, it looks like windows outside.
What a totally
No, it's like
amazing,
painting on
excellent
a-
discovery.
Yes, when I got closer and looked at it, I see that now. Okay.
Jesus.
Bacon jam.
hell is wrong with you? God, you guys treat me like I'm fucking Reddit here, man.
Even if you could look outside from inside the dojo, what the fuck were you talking about? Like, it doesn't look like it's underwater. Like, you said
You would
something
see the
fucking
other buildings
stupid
inside
is
the
what it
bubble, but
was.
it
And
wouldn't
then you
look
got called out on it, and then you got defensive. So just look like a dummy.
Okay, I'm Juxta.
Okay, there you go.
Ha, idiot.
Bacon Jam in the chat says, you have AC, you lucky bastards. No, we don't.
We don't have AC.
Yeah.
We
Well,
sure don't. Not that we can
we'll
run.
have it in like 30 minutes.
Yeah, we
30,
turn
40
it
minutes.
off so that you guys don't get the quality of podcasts that other people have, where it's like.
Yeah, if we ran the AC, it would sound like we were trying to run a fucking lawnmower in here. All right, so here we go. We've got what's her nuts? What's her nuts looking mad? Being called Kinslayer.
Warrior
That's
thing,
probably
doing
early.
thing.
Actually, I forgot to put this back on normal speed. We're gonna be here all day if we're watching this at half speed. There's that creepy head
That was
enemy.
a creepy head. Oh my god.
Yeah.
What is with SE? Like, first it's the fucking dolls, now it's that thing.
All right.
Oh, you talking about Brain Pan?
That's Estinian. Oh yeah, straight up. Hello, Estinian. What up?
The red lance wasn't a dead fucking giveaway, but now he gets new armor.
He finally cleaned it off.
Well, when he left, he wasn't even wearing armor. He just went off into.
Yeah, where the hell did he get it?
Right.
He just went to Idleyshire and bought it from the vendor.
He's been grinding tomestones, same as the rest of us.
He's got tomes for days.
Yeah.
Great.
Looks like it.
Whatever.
It does look the armor does look like a lot of the armor that came out of
It's the
Ishgard. Ishgard. It looks
he
very.
went and defeated
Ishgard-y.
Bahamut and got the Dreadworm armor.
I mean, I guess. Lots more explosions. Join the fight for freedom. Yeah, we get it.
Do we though?
I mean, doesn't matter.
There's Ian writing something.
And there's Lise. I don't know, being
a
Lise.
monk.
Getting ready to kick something.
Yeah. And then
what if Lise actually turns out to be Yida?
Oh my god! Stop.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
We're all Yida now.
Let's go back to our phone lines and talk to Artopher?
Arpheus Heidenberg.
Okay.
Hendir.
Oh, I see. That was a weird.
How did you get that wrong?
Yeah, because he copy and pasted the person's fucking screen name in here.
Just gotta
like a
read the
dummy.
whole thing.
Anyway, Orpheus Hidner of Coral, welcome to the show. Hello.
What? Why did you go back down in Discord?
Hello.
He's up here now.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, we move you around. Don't worry.
Yeah.
about it.
Don't try to move around on me. That makes me look bad.
Yeah, don't try to overthink this. Anyway, Orpheus, welcome to the show.
All right. Hey, how's everybody doing? Also, hashtag Weeblord.
Which one? Kahlo? Yes.
Who's the Weeblord? Are you the Weeblord?
Everybody's a Weeblord. That's what this expansion, right?
I mean, I'm anti-Weeblord.
Yeah,
I
think that there are some of us who are far more opposed to that or resistant to that idea.
I'm Dapper Lord.
Anyway, Orpheus, what's going on?
All right. So I was paying attention a bit to last week's show. I didn't get the call in, so I'm trying to just say my 2 cents now before the inevitable early access for Stormblood this Friday.
Okay.
I had a very worrying theory regarding how content is generally going to play out for Stormblood.
All right. Let's hear it.
So for context, saw Wonder Woman last week. It's a good movie. Started thinking about the DCEU. Thought about Batman v Superman.
Okay.
How everybody threw a fit about how Doomsday was in the movie. Oh, how could you have him in the movie? He's Endgame. You don't put him in your second movie. Yada yada. That went on for like 2 weeks or so, right? After that 2 week point, people stopped their bitching for like 2 seconds and they thought about it. Wait a second. What's Doomsday's implication? Why is he in the movie? What are the implications of him being in the movie? And then that clicked and people said, oh no, they're doing Death of Superman. You retards, why are you doing this now? this is your second movie, and then the rage picked up all over again.
Right.
And I bring that up because I saw a bit of parallels between that and what we have right now for our white mage changes. Right now, everybody has been
okay. You lost. You lost me. That I am totally in the dark as to where this analogy started or is going. So now I'm on the edge of my seat.
Right.
I'm
continue.
Right,
yeah.
So
What?
All right. So here's how it's going. Okay. So everybody right now is up in a fit about all the white mage changes. How the lilies feel like a bit of a disconnect from what the rest of the white mage job is. How it doesn't really seem to connect with everything, and how really white mage got their proverbial toys taken away, given to astrologian and scholar. They don't really have much of anything. So that's the sentiment that's been going on for the past 2 weeks.
Right.
But what people haven't really been asking is, what the fuck happened during development that made this seem okay? Because not only did we get the explanation, the justification that, oh, we're not getting a tank class or a healer class for this expansion because we wanted to balance everything out. So the trade-off, we're balancing out all of the tanks and healers to be a lot better, so that way people have more incentive to play them. But assuming that we have, at the very minimum, the same amount of content as Heaven's Word, minus the prospect of a third job, I'm assuming they're taking that extra dev time to go through with a fine-tooth comb and make sure everything's all Gucci like they do with the raids.
Yeah, but here's the problem: is that you're having to assume that.
Well,
right?
hold on, Yoshi
there's been no evidence that is true at all.
Yoshi said that by leaving out a tank and a healer job, this has given them time to go through and make sure that all the tanks and all the healers are balanced between the three of them.
But that makes a lot more sense given the overall battle adjustments and knowing more about the battle adjustments. No, I think that is a decision that's just 100% driven by those battle adjustments. You make them more mathematically similar, and then the thing that differentiates them is that special, unique piece of HUD that they've got to maintain or use or whatever. So that's how you end up building the differences in between your classes, as opposed to having to balance individual skills. And if you power up blood for blood, it's going to overpower Dragoon, but it's only going to bump up DPS for another job. Slightly, whatever that kind of balancing is, from a development standpoint, really difficult. So I understand the dev team's reason for making jobs mathematically and on paper, comparative to one another, more similar. Okay, that does not translate to I totally lost my train of thought.
Can we go back to the fact that he used
somebody
the word
jump
Gucci
in here?
And it's okay?
Yeah.
Gucci's a cool word. I like that.
Really? No, I don't know, man. I think if you take a look at the way that they've spent their time breaking things up, like they've had now, let's see, we've known about the battle system rework for since FanFest?
Since Las Vegas FanFest, right? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know that that's where they could be putting all their time now. Like, you can't use that as an excuse for delivering on less content.
Right. And again, we keep hearing about increased budgets, and how I feel like you throw more money at it, there's going to automatically be more expectation.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you're bringing more money to the table, that you can't at the same time go, okay, well, we're going to be delivering less, but it's better. But okay, yeah, but better is subjective, right? Like, you can tell me that it's better, but until I get my hands on it, I'm not going to be able to know for sure whether it is better or not.
And that's part of the thing we've talked about multiple times now, is that you've burned your goodwill. You've burned your me willing to give you the benefit of the doubt. At 2.55, when you said there's going to be stuff in 3.0 that's going to be better, I said, okay.
Right.
I can't wait.
And then
that sounds great.
2.0 came out.
And then I was disappointed multiple times throughout 3.0.
And every time they took a concession where we knew we would be getting less on the other side of it, every decision in that realm was like, well, why? You know, like when we went from 2.0 to 3.0 and they went, okay, well, there's one less dungeon per patch cycle now. You look at that and you go, well, but why? Like, why
to do what?
Yeah, exactly. What's the trade-off here? Is that if the trade-off is, you know, stuff like Deep Dungeon or Diadem, I'm also going to end up questioning that type of content because that fell flat on its face as well.
You know, Nero, you actually got onto something good there. Originally, when we went from the 3 dungeons to the 2 dungeons, they said that, look, we were giving you way too much content in 2.0. It was too much work for us and our dev team. We had to scale it back. Okay, that's a reason. It may not be one that we accept, but it's a reason.
Right.
And this one, you're right. They're like, all right, we're taking away 1 dungeon every other patch, but we're giving you new content. Why, though?
Or at least what? I mean, what is that? What is it going to be? We heard nothing.
Like, I feel like someone on the dev team must have been like, look, is the dungeon treadmill getting too boring? So they want to put in different content. Okay, but just taking out 1 dungeon and putting in new content doesn't actually do anything for that dungeon treadmill. It's actually going to be more monotonous and boring now because you're spreading out the life of those dungeons. So what is the actual intent behind that change besides just the idea that, oh, you're getting differing content?
Well, let's go back to the to the idea, like, because we've been catching flack for criticizing Square Enix for only including for including 1 less dungeon in their patch cycle every other patch, and people have been like, well, what, you think dungeons are such great content? That's not the point. That's not the point, because when you have, you know, like, think of these most recent patch cycles where you've only had 2 dungeons to choose from per patch cycle, and you get thrown into the one that sucks. Okay, now you've only got 1 dungeon, and that 1 dungeon sucks. And you know what I mean? Like, it creates, I think, more complications long term for the community, and makes them do more repetitive, monotonous shit, as opposed to, you know, giving some variety on the shit that you know that people are logging in to do every goddamn day. And again, if the trade-off is that we get halfway decent other content, whatever the supposed other content is, as long as that's halfway decent, then that justifies the expenditure. But I don't know that we got
it does, but yeah, our worry is that we don't, based on the track record,
right?
Will it be?
Did we get that the first time around?
No.
I don't think that was the trade-off 1 dungeon per patch cycle for Deep Dungeon or Diadem a justified.
Well, in that term, it wasn't even a trade-off. They just said, we gave you too much, we can't do that much work.
Yeah. I mean, you could look at it like, I would happily have traded 1 dungeon for the existence of Deep Dungeon, but I wouldn't trade anything for Diadem. Get the fuck out of here.
What about Deep Dungeon was pretty good.
Aquapolis I was happy with.
And they did say that they would be adding more objectives, so it's literally not just kill X monsters, go to next floor. Like, if they actually updated and expanded more Deep Dungeon, I'm not going to complain about. But the thing is, if they made it sound like there's going to be new, exciting content, not just like more of the content we already have. Well, I don't know.
And well, like you said, they did say that they're going to be trying to add new objectives and different things to do in Deep Dungeon. If they can flesh that system out and make it even better, then that's a win on their part.
And that's fine. That's justifiable. But the thing is that the systems that we've gotten at the expense of the systems that have been effective have been I think it's been a bad trade-off. I think that they haven't, you know, like, none of that shit ended up panning out.
Yeah.
So you know, we're really kind of, again, and this is completely at odds with the idea that they've increased the budget. If you increase the budget, right, like, shouldn't you have more resources to be able to give more content in the end? Like, that's what it's at odds with. If we knew that, you know, the Square Enix dev team took another hit year to year, and their budget took another hit, and that they're struggling to keep people on the team, or they're struggling to keep the ship righted, I think that's one thing. That's not the context that we've been given. The context that we've been given by Square Enix, by, you know, through interviews or whatever it is that there is more than enough budget and funding available here for the dev team to utilize. How are they utilizing it? If we're getting less, what the fuck are they doing?
Well, I guess the question then becomes, do you believe it? Do you believe what they're telling you? We've identified that when the sentiment settles into a game, that it is falling off. it goes south quick.
It does.
Could there be an element of them trying to obscure that by saying, we're doing great, we've got plenty of budget?
Every fucking MMO tries to obscure that, though.
I know.
You know, that's probably honestly that comment from Yoshi P that we got triple the budget was probably the biggest mistake. Like announcing that biggest mistake they've made for Stormblood right now. Period.
Because the thing is as soon as he said that, I was like, okay, then this should be better than Heavensward.
Yeah.
This should be better than Heavensward. The concessions that we took during Heavensward, including, by the way, the cash shop, and throwing literal money at you for digital items for nothing. All you have to do is put it in the fucking game, and then we throw real money at you. Even after all of that, they can't find the money or the development will to improve on their product? I mean, at worst, it's the same fucking thing. At worst, it's the same fucking thing as Heavensward. It's the same pattern of content as Heavensward. Okay? At best, it could totally break the mold. We don't know. I mean, a lot of it is speculation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
definitely. People have been shitting on us for that too. Is like, oh well, you don't know, you haven't played it. Yeah, I know. It's all speculation. Neither of you. We'll figure it out. But here's the
give us a week.
Yeah,
or two.
But here's the thing. Those concerns, I think, are completely rooted in valid observation in the MMO genre. For years we've been operating in this space and watching what has worked and what hasn't. And I'm not claiming to know better than the devs. I just think that there is some questionable decision making that's going on right now. I don't know if that's being driven above Yoshi P or if that's the dev team beneath him, not willing to reach outside their comfort zone. I don't know what it is, but something has become quite stale about the way that content is being proposed in this game, or the way that it's being presented, or the way that we're receiving it. Something is stale, and it doesn't fit.
Wow, yeah, you honestly, like, as you were coming up on that word, that's what I was saying. I'm like, stale. Everything about this is stale. It's the same pattern every time. Even watching this theatrical trailer, like, we're able to pick out points that we've seen before, or as people say, you don't know what's happening. You're right, but we're also able to see what could be the exact same pitfalls they've already fell into, and they're at least they could be setting themselves up for those same things again.
How often are we right on this show? Like
50-50, I don't know.
At a time.
With Juxta, about 90.
If you tally all of the different opinions and the ones that are correct between the five of us, I think that we've called most of the big plot points or most of the big beats of, at least from A Realm Reborn forward. I mean, I feel like there hasn't been much that we've been
really Ysayle dying. I think we were all taken by surprise with that.
That's fair.
That one got us all.
Yeah. I mean, but that's the thing, is that, like,
as Obsidian not dying,
as well, yeah, that's true. But as you get to know the beats of this narrative, I think it becomes very easy to sort of pick it out, and I don't like that. Like,
yeah, well, it lost its edge, I think, after...
Good way to put it.
Yeah, it lost its edge for sure. Like, the Sultana, that was the final straw. At that point, they're operating with...
then it jumped the shark.
Yeah, they're operating with dull weapons at that time. But I think after the initial... A Realm Reborn storyline. So, when we got what was his name? The rogue thiefy guy, Thancred. When we got Thancred back from being possessed by an Ascian, that's when I started to notice the dulling of the blade.
Yeah, and that I think is a little bit unfortunate, because it does seem like they really had a great plan all the way through.
I don't know. I mean, if you're like becoming a goddess and not actually coming back, I figured she was going to come back in some epic, like, grand, hey, I've got a new outfit and I'm here to kick ass, rather than, like, she's actually gone.
I mean, yeah. I just, but it didn't. I don't think that delivered the narrative impact that you need when you lose a character like that, especially someone as critical as
that
Minfilia.
cutscene where we all like were exposed to her and like we're like, wait, what the hell's going on? I saw a lot of people talking about how emotional it was. And
the one in the anti-tower?
Because for me, because I was asking what the hell was going on, but not like in an interesting, fascinated kind of way. It was like, what the fuck are they talking about? What is this bullshit? That's all that I heard. Because here's the thing.
It was an exposition dump for the most part.
That we already knew. It's all like, look, the crystal needs to speak to you, so it's speaking through me. The Asians are trying to end the world. No fucking duh, Minfilia.
Well, it was all that.
But we found out why and all the context behind it and what the
with the different worlds and the celestial lore.
Like, you guys remember one of the very first interviews that Yoshi did really, really early on in Realm Reborn was that he said that he was such a big fan of the earlier Final Fantasies and how dark they were narrative-wise. Right? Where the fuck did that go, Yoshi?
I will agree with that, is that there does seem to be a lot of narrative punches that have been pulled, and I feel like there was look, I still have problems with the jump from 2.5 to 3.0 because I feel like they had set up a whole different set of plot lines that they ended up going with. Am I the only one that feels like that? Like, am I the only one that feels like once we got to Heaven's Word that maybe there was a call that came down from above Yoshi P that said, no, you've got to keep the Sultana in because she, like...
She's in the cooking quest.
Or no, because she trends very well. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people like her. Since she's a well-liked character, we can't kill her. I don't understand. If you're Yoshi P and you make the call to deliver that narrative punch, how do you pull it? How do you immediately pull that punch?
I don't know, because Ysael was really well liked and they killed her.
And they followed through with that, and it was very well done and well executed. But
no one likes Lalafell.
The problem is that you do that once. You pull that punch once, I'm always, for the rest of the time, gonna be counting on you or expecting you to keep delivering those non-impactful narrative points.
Which is the reason that we have the problem with them showing what they did with Y'shtola. Because if you kill her now, we already knew it was coming, and if you bring her back, you pulled your punch.
Exactly. So it does sort of speak to, this new trailer in a way that, man, there used to be something about Square Enix's storytelling that was just primal and connected with you. And you didn't necessarily understand what was going on at the time, but you felt it. Like that emotional quality came through.
I don't know. I'm still pretty invested in the story. I'm just more disappointed in the fact that, like, I was expecting 3.56 to live up to 2.55, and it didn't. I was waiting for some big
super
whiz.
ball
Like,
drop.
there was a little bit of a cliffhanger with what was going on with, like, the big orb of Dalamud 2.0 or whatever, but, like, it wasn't the same as we felt at the end of 2.55.
I'm still really, and Kahlo, you had brought this up earlier, I'm still really bothered by the fact that, God damn it, that, why am I losing my train of thought? I think it's because it's so hot in this fucking studio.
It's Alzheimer's.
It really is. It's really fucking warm today. I think this has been probably the hottest show that we've ever done.
Just the difference, like walking back into the studio, it's like stepping into an oven.
It really is. Like you
almost
just
90 degrees in here.
You get that kind of like breather out in the out in the hallway, and you're like, oh my god, I so don't want to go back in and sit down. Holy
just
shit!
Feel that wall of funk.
Yeah. But no, Kahlo, you had brought this up earlier, and this is a thing that just really sticks out to me. Is why in the world did you set up Taleji Adeleji to look as if he was going after Omega,
or
and then
anything,
and then just
they might continue with him though.
After a whole expansion,
Nika, what?
Because it's Square Enix, and I think that's what they're going to do. We saw that set up for Omega. We don't have Omega yet. When Omega comes, here comes Taleji Adeleji coming in to try to benefit off of our hard work.
Except Omega at this point is like lost in time somewhere. They missed their window.
But we're going to find it, obviously.
But unless Taleji Adeleji went down there and fucked with its programming before we got to it, I can't see a way to bring that character in on this storyline.
He's not rolling in and trying to take credit for all of our hard work.
No, fuck that. No. We're being driven towards Nero being the one to fit that role.
Chad's all pointing out,
Yeah,
didn't
that's
Teleji
true.
die? Didn't he get cut in
that
half?
was Lolorito.
That was
Lolorito, that's right.
Yeah.
That potato got cut in half.
Right.
They all look the same.
They're all the same character,
yeah.
especially on the Syndicate.
And so I don't understand what all that setup for Cartno was supposed to be with the Syndicate, unless it's a drop plot line, which that's really disappointing.
Yep.
Because I think to deliver a good narrative, that's really got to be well thought out and well planned out.
At the same time, I don't want any more.
Some of this is starting to seem haphazard.
And saying we have it backwards. That Lolorito is the one who saved Nanamo and that Teleji's.
Okay, well, whatever. The point is that they're exactly.
Hang on.
After all this time, we've mentioned Teleji for like an hour now, and nobody corrected us until now.
Hang on, just real quick point of fucking contention here is nerd.
Or some people who pay attention to the story more than we do, apparently.
They're fucking Lalafels. Who gives a shit? They're interchangeable, one between the other. I just hope that this expansion, if this expansion works towards the Lalafel purge, I'm good.
Yes. We can all hope, right?
I think purge of all of the Scions and every character.
No, I honestly, I think that would be hilarious if at the end of the expansion, like at the end of the 4.0 narrative, it like forces, if you're a Lalafel, it forces you back into the character creation scene.
Oh, no, that's bad.
No, that's hilarious.
No,
we were just talking
it's even
about how
better.
everyone's going to die, including the Warrior of Light, and you said that would not happen.
It gives every Lalafel a Fantasia
Although,
and says use this or else, and if you don't use it,
delete your character.
You just get murdered. You get murdered and your character dies.
Well, because we didn't actually finish the trailer. I don't know if you guys realized.
How are people calling me a racist? I openly advocated. See, Zero's got it right. I just openly advocated for Lalafell genocide. Like
that's correct.
Goes a bit beyond racist.
The next scene in the trailer actually shows Xenos cutting down the Warrior of Light and getting and then flames takes over the screen. If that Warrior of Light is a Lalafell, maybe you die.
Oh yes,
we didn't get to that scene. It's after the FF14 logo and
the final Lalafell solution. All right, let's go back to our phone lines and take another caller. I don't know who this is. Just a landline caller calling in. Welcome to Limit Break Radio, caller.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
What's up?
Okay. My name is Josh, and I'm calling from Texas.
What up, Josh from Texas?
First, I want to say big fan of you guys. Glad I got to meet you guys at FanFest. Keep up the good work.
That's what's up.
I also wanted to specifically go over a little detail. It's not that important, but when you guys were talking about the dogs on the screen, the dog mask, it brought to mind some of the art booklet drawings, and specifically I found it. It's on the Final Fantasy Heavensward, The Art of Ishgard, Stone and Steel. In that art book on page 285 at the bottom, there's a section that says Al Ra Concepts-Beastly.
Yes.
And that same exact dog is the one that appears on the trailer. If you go ahead and take a look at the trailer on 4:16, 4 minutes and 16 seconds, you'll see the tail on the bottom right.
Props for
of
doing
each
your
one
research,
of the characters.
dude.
Yeah.
So you'll see it's the exact same model that appears on the booklet as what's on the video. You see the head, the body, and the tail on each one of the characters.
Yeah,
so this is more like a feral Al Ra.
Well, and I think that it brings up a lot of questions because we dismissed it automatically as a mask, but I mean, I think that and again, he did bring up that was a concept for bestial Ras, but I think that much more. I think a simple explanation is a little bit more reasonable. That they probably took that concept art
and just reused it for something else,
and used it for a specific clan.
Yes,
and that. Obviously, I think that that they will end up removing their heads, and you will see beneath the mask is Aura.
Yeah, because Yoshi has also said too that we will be coming across many different clans and different types of tribes of people in
of
Author.
Aura specifically. They said that they're like in that big open plains area. There's multiple tribes of Aura, and some of them are wandering, some of them are stationary. This could easily be something like that.
Right. Yeah, I just don't think that you're going to see. Because that's a pretty big genetic deviation from what Aura are.
From lizard person to dog man.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't see that. So what I think it's going to be is that's going to be some sort of sect or tribe that specifically worships dogs or, I don't know what they were, but that's much more of
part of their history.
Yeah, it's more of an identifying feature as opposed to necessarily what their face looks like. Anyway, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Josh from Texas. If you want to call Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord. I think, we can count this episode as a success mostly because we got to mostly the end of it.
And the power didn't go out.
And the power did not go out, yeah.
And none of us died of heat stroke, although we're getting there.
Getting a little close.
That could still happen before we finish the show.
That's true. One of us could pass out. You never know.
Blah.
So, a lot of really interesting discussion. We did not get to the Famitsu article this week, and
we probably won't, since next week will be Stormblood.
Exactly. So
it'll be kind of moot at that point.
Exactly. Moot. We'll give you a chance to call in if there's any more stragglers. Limit Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715, limitbreakradio.com/Discord if you'd like to call in. And again, this whole charge of being so cynical about Stormblood, I don't know that we're even being that cynical. I think that we're being critical, and
we're being hopeful but critical.
I think we're being critical, but at the same time, we're not hyped, right? Like that's what I think. That's what I think people are really picking up on and not responding well to, is that there is a distinct lack of trying to generate hype on our part towards you. And you know what?
I think, too, the biggest difference is that it's not that we're not even excited for it. It's that comparing our hype for when Heavensward launched to our hype from now, it's not nearly as high.
Or just the hype that other shows...
that we had at FanFest.
That we had at FanFest.
It's just gone downwards.
Well, because we've been able to confirm over time that it's going to be the same thing that we got in Heavensward and the same thing that we got in 2.0. So I think that fact, compounded with, maybe some of the lesser received plot points from Heavensward, makes not just us, but a certain fraction of the community very concerned about the way that this game moves forward. And I defended last week that this comes much more down to a philosophical disagreement of who your audience is and who you try to cater to as time moves on in your game. Because there is a point where it does seem really, really stupid to try to pick up a new audience when your game is approaching 5 years old, right? Like, that is, I think, a no-brainer.
It'd be the equivalent of us trying to pick up a new audience as part of Limit Break Radio.
Exactly.
Like, at this point, no.
And the thing is that in order to do that, again, people who are making this purchase or coming fresh to the game, we would have to adjust our content for that. Yeah. We would have to go, hey, we're gonna do a newbie episode and walk you through everything that you need to know moving into Stormblood.
Get ready for Stormblood.
Like, if you're a longtime listener to this program, is that what you want to hear?
You tune out. You'd be like, oh, I'll just skip this one. It's for newbies.
Yeah.
We did that one time, didn't we?
And it was God, that is such a great analogy, Juxta. I'm gonna skip this episode because it's for newbies. That's what the fucking game's turning into.
Jump potion.
I'm going to skip this game because it's for newbies now.
And I think that is, I think that's really kind of the frustrating thing is, and I just remembered one of the big comments that every time I see it, I do not respond very well to it.
Your dick is small?
And it's, no, that is a pretty normal insult. I've come to,
Your dick is big.
I've come to terms with the fact.
Your dick has elephantitis.
Do I? No, I don't think so. Anyway, what the fuck? Where were you going?
He's going with dicks. You were talking about a comment that
it
really
took me an hour and a half to remember a fucking point that I wanted to make, and you immediately derail it.
Yes.
Why? Why would you do that?
To make you forget it.
I've lost 2 other points today.
I really want to know what that comment was, too.
Me, too. Did you lose it again?
That the jump potion, by virtue that you're not using it, doesn't affect you.
Well,
you know, you don't have to buy it, so why does it matter? Why are you so opposed to it? It doesn't affect your gameplay at all.
We've said it once and we'll say it again, that you're right. The action of the jump potion itself doesn't affect me as a singular player, but when a company keeps making decisions that fall under the same umbrella as the jump potion does, your game is effectively being made simpler.
And not just that, but that line of logic works for a single-player game, not one that hinges itself on a multiplayer community and a persistent world. There are things that I think, you know, you expect when you go into a persistent world, and I feel like, again and again, I'm met with decisions that would make sense for a single-player game at this point. And the defenses that you fucking sad motherfuckers trot out every single time, and it's sad, by the way, because you're not receiving a check from Square-Enix. And if you're gonna give any company, I don't care who it is, Dow Chemical, fucking
Nintendo,
United Airlines, it doesn't fucking matter. Whatever company, you shouldn't give any company that much of a benefit of the doubt unless you're getting a fucking paycheck. Why would you? Why would you fucking contort yourself into knots to try to justify what a company way bigger than any of your concerns and doesn't have any of your concerns at heart? Why would you try to defend that? What's the point of trying to defend that? What's the point of reflexively and defensively responding to the idea that Stormblood might not be as hype as everyone thinks that it's going to be right now? How is that? How is the reflexive response to that? Oh, these guys are fucking shit. Now, actually, we might know what we're talking about a little bit.
I mean, we're still shit, but not because of that.
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of reasons to call us shit. But I think the discussions that we have, the criticisms that we bring to the table are both necessary and needed, especially right now. Because when you get caught up in all of this pre-expansion hype bullshit, and when you get into that hype culture, I think that it doesn't serve anyone except the company who's selling some shit. That's it. That's it. Now, I'm not going to sit here and encourage you not to buy Stormblood. I'm not going to sit here and encourage you to not invest in this game that we clearly are all invested in and all love.
Also, at this point, I would much rather be more hesitant and then be surprised and happy than be overhyped and then be disappointed.
Exactly. That's a great point, Nika.
Especially at this point with their track record, I don't want to give them too much benefit of the doubt at this point because you just don't know.
Yeah. So this idea that, well, a jump potion doesn't affect you, it only affects someone coming to the game. It affects the entire community. It affects the way that this new generation and new wave of players is going to end up interacting with, appreciating, and subsequently sticking around the game. Again, if you reward players having put no investment into the game from the word go, then you're really showing them that they don't need to invest any further towards the future because you're just going to hand it out anyway. Let's go back to our phone lines, and we'll take one last call. We'll talk to Captain Marvelous of Leviathan. What's up, Captain?
Hey, guys. Can you hear me?
Yep. You don't need to. You don't need to ask. You can just start talking. Yes, we can hear you.
All right. So I wanted to talk about the Stormblood cynicism, and I was really hyped. I still am really hyped about Stormblood, and a lot of what you guys said actually make a lot of sense because it is true that a lot of people that are new to the game come onto the game because of their friends. Like myself, I've almost convinced like about maybe 8, 9, 10 people to come on to Final Fantasy XIV. Like at least one of them, I was able to convince by making him watch like Daddy of Light, because he's like fucking Woda trash or something, self-described Woda trash.
Self-described Woda trash.
I mean,
really?
I guess whatever. Look, whatever gets your dick hard. I mean,
that's your new saying these days. Isn't
I like
it?
that saying.
Yeah, that's fair.
But the thing is that I don't think Square Enix realizes that even myself, I came on 3.2, 3.3. Even I'm getting bored, so I can't really even imagine like how people who have been playing this game for 4 years are feeling right now.
Yeah. Try starting at 2.0 and doing a weekly show on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're
should try that too.
The next expansion, the patches, they're going to have like 1 dungeon for the odd patches and 2 dungeons for the even. I don't even know how that's going to work out with the content that they've been giving us. Like, what was it? Diadem was a complete disaster.
Yeah.
So they said that they're going to give us compelling content. I don't even know what the hell that means.
No one does.
No one does. And
it says that leveling jobs is compelling content. So
oh my god,
that's so worrisome.
In what world is that compelling content?
If it's compelling, then why are you giving people a method to skip past it?
Or giving us less ways to level.
Yeah.
By removing dungeons.
A lot of people, myself included, Stormblood is like make or break. They kept me with. I came in during Heaven's Word, so I'm all like, okay, I can see what people are saying with how 2.0, and because it's much more. The contrast is much stronger when you come in Heaven's Word, and then you see all this great 2.0 content, and then you get to the 3.0 content, and you're like, huh, that's a bit of a drop off there. So when 4.0 comes, and it's even more of a drop off, I think that even people who came in late during Heaven's Word or something are going to be like, okay, why am I sticking around? And I'm going to tell you, if I leave, everybody that I got into the game are going to just pick up and leave right with me.
And that, yeah.
That's the reason they came onto this game, and that's like, you know, that's going to happen a lot. Square-Enix is going to lose like thousands of people just because some of their veterans left.
Exactly. And this is really kind of the heart of the point that we've been kind of driving at, is this is why at this stage in your game's development, you concentrate as a developer on keeping your veteran players locked. Give them shit to do. Do not try to fucking advertise on honey bun packages or fucking billboards that no one will absolutely no one will read. No one is interested in those Stormblood fucking billboards outside of people who are already playing and subscribing to this game. Those are the only people who have talked about Stormblood fucking advertising at all, right? Like no one else
who can recognize that at a glance.
Yes, exactly.
That's all it gets is a glance.
Exactly. That's and people have been criticizing my criticisms of the marketing. That's fine if you think that I don't have a point, but there, you know what? All that shit costs money. All that shit,
and not a little bit of money either.
Exactly. And to me, I had put this on Facebook the other day. To me, I think that is much more indicative of Square-Enix being afraid at the number of pre-orders that they got, and they're like, we need to step this up. That's my concern. I'm worried about that.
Knee jerk.
Not
knee jerk.
No.
Like when your pre-order numbers are way down, that's when you start putting out those advertisements that appeal to former players.
And
where they go like, oh yeah, Stormblood.
Here's the thing that all of you motherfuckers listening right now need to keep in mind. You have to remember this. This is critical. If you take nothing else away from this show, remember this point. Okay? An MMO's audience and an MMO's lifeblood is its subscriber base. And when you bleed from your veterans, like our caller said, you end up taking other people out of the game when that veteran player goes. And the thing that I want you to remember is that when a veteran goes, they do not generally post on the free company or a fucking website or a message board and make a big announcement about how they're leaving this game. They just decide not to fucking pre-order the next expansion and never pay for their account again. So I think, like if you want to try to project all of this, negativity onto us, remember, we're still here. We're still playing. We're still invested in 14. We still show up to do this show 3 hours every fucking weekend. If we didn't care, if we actually didn't like this game, if we thought that this was a waste of our time, we would just very quietly pack it up. I mean, we would actually have to come out and say, hey, we're quitting this game. That puts an onus on us that doesn't exist for 99% of the player base. They can just fuck off and not resub and not have to justify it to a single soul.
Yep. Call it a day.
And that's the thing that you guys forget. That's the thing that you guys forget, is that fucking a year ago, we couldn't do one weekend of this show without seeing very specific names in this chat room. Ryuichi, where's he been? I mean, I'm not calling out Ryuichi.
I've seen him on the game a couple times.
Listen, I love Ryuichi. He's not showing up to the show every fucking weekend. He used to. When people fall off, and again, people want to try to criticize our subscriber numbers, or, oh, your last episode didn't get as many views on YouTube. And again, you know, like, fucking people fall off on this shit all the time. And it's not by virtue of our opinion. It's not by virtue of anything that this show does. It has way more to do with the game than it has to do with us.
I was actually talking to a longtime listener of ours a few days ago, and he's like, hey, sorry I haven't been to the show recently. Nothing on you guys. I'm just not playing FF14 right now.
Yeah, and we have some people who stick around and say, yeah, I don't play anymore, but I still listen to you guys. But that's such the vast minority. And if you don't play 14, how could you listen to a podcast about FF14?
Exactly. And you know what? There are some super fans who are like, I catch you no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely.
No matter what. I haven't been logging in, but I love your fucking show because it's funny. Yeah, and that's great. And that's why we do things like Final Encountercast, right? But I don't, and again, I'm not trying to pick on Ryuichi or make him feel like he's got to show up every fucking weekend or anything like that. But here's someone who was logging in very regularly, who was engaged with the show, who then fell off and didn't explain it or justify it to anyone, us included, right? Like that, you would think, right? Like, if there's that much investment, that you would end up doing that. And again, I'm not trying to pick on Ryuichi. We have a very fluid listenership base. Like, we have people who come in and drop off all the fucking time. And that doesn't bother us. We're used to it from FF11. We learned that with FF11. The expectation is there. You're going to listen. You're going to fall off. Maybe you hear something you disagree with and you fall off. That's fine too. We don't care. All of that is acceptable. That's fine. But the problem is that at some point, you're going to see that translate to in-game logons. That's the problem.
Yep.
And then it's going to affect the ability to do stuff. I mean, we've already seen that. We've already seen that in the content lull between 3.0 and 4.0.
Watch what happens when, like, it sucks when anyone leaves the game, but watch what happens when an FC leader leaves.
Yep.
You know how much that affects that FC when that person leaves?
Yep.
Or when a raid leader drops off?
How many people in the chat right now are playing this game because of the friends they play with? When those friends start going, like, I stayed in 11, like, even before, like, I came back now just to, like, theme park it, but, like, when I was still playing 11 regularly, I hung on for a long time because a large group of my friends hung on for a long time. But when they left, then it was time to go.
Nothing left for you.
Yeah, it's time to go. Now I'm okay. My link shell broke, and whatever. I'm out. Peace.
Yeah, it becomes easier. Like, it becomes easier to leave at that point. But again, this notion that we don't give a shit, irreverence is not giving a shit. There are two very different things. You know, if we're being irreverent, we can make fun of anything and everything. There is nothing sacred, right? We can make jokes about the Sultana dying or whatever. Like, there's absolutely nothing sacred. But that doesn't mean that we don't fucking care. That doesn't mean that we want to see this game fail. Never said that. We've never encouraged anyone to unsubscribe. We've never encouraged anyone not to buy an expansion. Fuck's sake. This fucking notion that we're just over it. I mean, no, we're frustrated. Let's be clear about this, okay? We're frustrated. And by the way, we have outlined our frustration very clearly and concisely. If you're willing to give it the time and let the arguments play out and consider it all, then you know what? You're going to have an idea of where we're coming from. Even if you're a new player. Even if you're new to MMOs. There is a point where doing something repeatedly becomes monotonous and boring. And, you know, we're here.
We're there.
We're here. And people don't want to hear it. And they react very poorly to it. And that's okay. Because you know what? You're here right now and appreciating this discussion, appreciating this conversation. And I appreciate your guys' calls. And again, you know, we float this out here every week, you know, and we hear the feedback like, oh, you guys just want to be right. You guys just want to think that you're right all the fucking time. Again, I don't think you can claim that when we have open phone lines for 3 hours. We give you the ability to come on here and say whatever the fuck you want. You can open your mouth and make us look stupid. Most of the time, you just do that to yourself. You just open your mouth and make yourself look stupid.
Yeah, people that claim, but it's 6 verse 1. No, we usually don't have to do that because you guys, make yourself
not just that. Not just that. But the 5 people that I do this show with are fucking brutal. If you bring up a good, funny point against me, you think that they're not going to jump on top of it? You think that they're going to jump to my defense? What are you, fucking insane?
Get owned.
Have you never heard this show before? Clearly, that must be it. Is that you've never heard the show before? Because if someone got on here and made a point that I had look really stupid, there's no...
You better believe we'd rip you apart.
There's no way.
He's never living that down.
No, never.
That'll be a new bit.
5. There are 4 other people in here that you have the ability to play off of. We're not going to fucking congeal in a unit. What are you, fucking crazy? We've been doing this show for 10 years. If we're not going to congeal around each other for support now... What makes you think that we're going to do it if your dumbass calls the show? You guys have opportunities here. And if you don't like the show, you have opportunities to say some shit about it. All right, we got to wrap this up.
It's hotter than hell.
This room is boiling. And
it tastes like boy butter.
It tastes like Juxta.
You're welcome.
And
I can't believe it's not Juxta.
And there's only about
But it is.
Gross. There's only about 40 minutes left until the start of the Microsoft E3 2017 conference, which is where we're going to be going. Not to the conference. Well, we are.
Kookie's there.
Kookie's at the conference. We're not going to Microsoft. We'll be watching Microsoft here, taking notes, and getting ready for our epic Checkpoint E3 2017 coverage. Again, we want to encourage everyone, if you haven't already, checkpointradio.com is the website. You can find full episodes on demand over there, as well as the Checkpoint podcast. It is our attempt to move away and move off of crowdfunding, which is done on the backs of you guys and through your support over at patreon.com/limitbreakradio, and hopefully in the long run make something a little bit more solvent for this production company. And if we get to do that, if those dividends end up being as good or as big as we think that they might be, then you know what, you guys just get to continue to enjoy Limit Break Radio without having to really invest in it. And
wouldn't that be nice?
I think it would be. Yeah. I mean, you know, again, we give this show away every week. We don't ask for anything. You can give absolutely $0 to the show and still receive 99.9% of our content.
All the good content.
All the stuff that anyone would give a shit about. And we do that for a reason. We don't believe in paywalls. We don't believe in floating the business model on the backs of our fans. We thoroughly believe in trying to make this a workable business, and we're following through on that with Checkpoint. So I don't want to encourage people not to support us over at Patreon. We love and appreciate your support over at Patreon. That's what has afforded us the opportunity to be able to do this and all of our other shows. And really anything that we do with Limit Break Radio is done through your support. One of the things that we had to buy this most recent week, because we're going out to E3 2017, we had to purchase a laptop. So I want to thank everyone in our listening audience that is a member of the LB Army, that's given over at patreon.com/limitbreakradio. You guys provided us the hardware to be able to give you a final product at the end of the day for E3 2017, and I think that is really important and really needs to be highlighted. So thank you guys so much for your continued support. You guys allow us to do what we do, and that is a very 1-to-1 ratio. That's very direct. You guys, through your support at Patreon, we get to have the technology that we need to be able to produce the show. So thank you guys for all of your support and for allowing us to do what we do. All right, that's going to be it here for Limit Break Radio. Stick around. We'll have the re-air of this week's Checkpoint coming up next. And, the next time you hear from us will be from out at E3 2017. We're really, really excited to be going out there again as a part of Checkpoint Radio. But while we're out there, we will be collecting material for our Final Encounter cast and Limit Break Radio. So be sure to be on the lookout for that. Coming up next week. All right, that's going to be it. I want to thank my crew, even though they're not here, Kooky, Persona, and Skuro. They've got this weekend off somehow. But I also want to thank my crew, Nika Kayani and Escalia, Ryumasa, Juxtaposition, and Kalo Landis. I'm an hero. Keep listening. Limit Break Radio is a production of LimitBreakRadio.com and Bender Media Productions. This episode was produced by Anira Grigori, Kalo Landis, and Kooky Persona. Final Fantasy XIV and Eorzi are trademarks of Square-Enix. Funding for Limit Break Radio is provided by Miri Kennett, Satori Komeji, Dark Flux, Null Packet, Shira Heartslot, and fellow Limit Break Radio listeners. To support Limit Break Radio, visit patreon.com/LimitBreakRadio. Opening music in this episode from Daniel Lambie. Listen to Man with the Machine Gun and other great tracks at facebook.com/Daniel Lambie Metal Gamer. Closing music in this episode provided by Husky by the Geek. Listen to this and other great Final Fantasy XIV and video game rock covers and original music at facebook.com/Husky by the Geek. In-game graphics for Limit Break Radio's Twitch stream are provided by Diamond Multimedia. Check out their line of AMD graphics cards and other hardware at diamondmm.com. Limit Break Radio and its hosts are solely responsible for its content.